Man, we've been waiting a long time for this, baby. Red Zone in the lab. Commanders. It's time. Let's get it, homie.
Yes, sir. We are back in the building. Rio Robinson podcast. I am Deuce, and this is day 5 of the Commanders Held briefings of 30 plus Commanders content creators. Some of your favorite is in the building, and of course, my man's man from the last 4 or 5 years. We've been cutting it tight. My man, DWill does it. Oh, look, I'm in a different spot today, right?
Okay.
And the spot that I'm at got a fancy camera, right? So every time it moves, it adjusts, right? So I hope nobody get motion sickness or anything, right? I'm just trying to stay still, right? You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I got it, bro. Hey, look, I know how it is, man. You gotta watch out with these cameras, man. But I'm doing some good, man. I'm happy to be with you, man. How you doing?
Good. Look at Chuck. W shirt. Yes, sir.
You already know it, man.
Chuck, what's good? What's good? Grant in the building. Listen, man, it's been a minute since we chopped it up, right? It's really like when I see you, it's either in the radio station, it's either in TV, it's either doing some type of skit out in the street, it's in the radio, it's in the booth, laying lyrics. Man. It's on a stage doing comedy. It's in somebody's TV series doing voices. It's on Instagram doing all these. It's a different world skit. It's like everything. Where it's like DWill Does It All is absolutely who you are, and it's like any lane. Like if I should decide to do a podcast on anything, I know for a fact I'm gonna have at least one guest.
Hey, for sure, man. Look, I try to be multifaceted, very versatile with everything, and that's how I like to keep it set up. You know what I'm saying? Got to keep everybody on their toes. You never know where you might see me. You never know, what brand I'm going to be rocking. You never know what I'm going to be doing in the afternoons or the evenings, you know what I'm saying? But, I'm just happy to be around. And, one thing I say with you, man, we always kept a great relationship. So regardless of what I'm doing, you know what I'm saying, you always support and you always have me on to talk about it. So I love it, man. What up, Chuck?
Yeah, hey, can we get the jingle before the year?
Hey, from appliances to grills, we got mowers, blowers, and drills. Go to Lowe's. But before you go, tell them that I sent you there, right? And then once you do that, then you could go. But tell them I sent you there and stream Lowe's Run on all streaming platforms right now.
There it is. Oh man, what's good, man? What's good, Daryl? Yes, man. Like it's been a jerk. Like in my phone, right? Like I don't have like some folks that I meet on Spaces and different. I have like whatever the name is, Spaces. But for you and the A's, like my wife looks on, like this is. I got an actor in my Rolodex.
Hey man, that means a lot, bro. I would love to be able to do that on a more consistent basis, but I guess that would be for everything, right?
That's right.
It's not just on screen, it's off screen, it's voiceovers, it's everything, it's writing, directing. Like I got so many things I'm working on right now. It's really speaking to the DWill Does It All mantra. So like so many things are happening and I can get it done in the off season because I'm not consumed with talking about the team on a weekly basis during the season. So the off season, it's really an opportunity to kind of get some stuff done, but we've been ramping it up lately, whether it's here on ESPN 630 with Mike Callow or down in Richmond with our buddy Lake Lewis and my guy Jack Fitzpatrick on Fitz the Bill down at ESPN 106.1 FM in Richmond. So it's a fun time, man. They keep bringing me on, so I'm gonna keep coming. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. There it is. And y'all see what he just did, right? Like he taught me that years ago. Always promote yourself. Find a way to
Always,
get it in
man.
there. Always promote yourself. I never forgot that. Yeah, man. So look, let's talk about this team a little bit, right?
Yes, sir.
Um, I think it was a pretty good off season, right? Pretty good off season. What were some of your favorite moves from the off season?
Well, I feel like this offseason, they actually had a good draft and a good free agent signing. I feel like the last few years it was kind of piecemeal together. You know, I feel like this regime has some security, right? So I think you make the best moves that you can in the first couple years. But I think this year was the actual full all season where I was perfectly fine with the free agent signings. I feel like they did an excellent job with filling some needs and getting quality players. And then they also did an excellent job in the draft at doing the same thing. Um, Picking that high in the draft, I feel like, you know, you were kind of in a win-win with whoever you chose. But I feel like going the route of defense was the perfect option, seeing as our defense hasn't been consistent. And the defense is what is going to win you a championship here in this league because, you know, Jaden can do everything, but you got to be able to stop the people on the other side. And I think you get young talent in the building along with a good veteran presence. And I think this offseason was a home run as I'm watching the home run derby practice right now. I think it was a home run for the Commanders this offseason, and I'm hoping they'll be able to build on it.
What are some weaknesses as of right now on the defensive side? We're gonna work the defense first.
Well, I think you still kind of don't know what you have in the secondary. I think the secondary for me is the biggest weakness because I don't think we've had enough consistency there. In previous years, the defensive line has been a strong point where you were able to bring any guy in and get a pass rush. You saw last year with having Von Miller, who's about as old as me, be able to go in there and make a couple plays. And historically, the team has done well at the defensive line with drafts going back even to Ron Rivera. So they've done well with having defensive linemen. I think they've done well there. You have Bobby Wagner last year to hold down the middle of the field at linebacker, and they kind of kept the linebackers together. And most times they're in two linebacking situations with having a fifth defensive back on the field. And then you look in the secondary, where that was the most toughest thing for me. I think you had injuries, you had inconsistent play over the last 2 years, you had a failed experiment with Marshawn Lattimore, you had Benjamin St. Juste here a couple years back who had very difficult time. You had Trey Amos getting hurt last year. And then you have situations like Quan Martin. Sometimes he performs out of his mind. Sometimes he gives up the most critical tackle at the most inopportune time. I think the one consistent that we've had has been Mikey Sanders still, although I believe he does have an area of opportunity to kind of grow and really step into that role. But I think you can see by some of the moves that they've made in the secondary that they feel like that's a weakness, and they want to get as many good, healthy bodies in those defensive back rooms to kind of, if that's going to be a position where it's defensive back by committee, you want as many good, able bodies in there as you can.
When you have as much athleticism as we have at the linebacker position, probably been like forever. Even when we had like the Iraq pose and some really good linebackers, the room itself, I don't think has never looked like this, right? Even on some Super Bowl teams, you might have those top two end guys, but then like our whole room is very athletic, but it's not a lot of proven guys, but Leo Chanel. Like with Sonny Styles, like we're hoping, and I'm hoping that he's going to be exactly what you would expect from a 7th pick of the draft this upcoming year. But just having someone like Leo Chanel with Super Bowl experience playing across that second line of defense up and down it, being able to bring all, and not just like, I think having him is where you're getting a player that's ascending into a prime. Not saying that the prime is going to be this or is going to be that, but he's ascending into a prime, not a player like Bobby that's declining from a prime. I'm not taking away anything he did. I mean, not right now, right? That's not the point. But when we got him, he's declining from his prime, right? And some people declining from their prime still gives you spats of their all proness, hence him making an all pro. But what type of like with Leo Chanel, what type of impact do you think he's going to have across that front seven?
Well, I think he'll be a good impact here with the team. I think he'll be he'll take the baton well from Bobby Wagner. I mean, he's taking the number as well, so he's taking the baton well, and really, be thrusted into that leadership position. But I think just with the linebacker core as a whole, you kind of get a glimpse as to what defensive coordinator, Durante Jones may want to do. I feel like he may want run some type of hybrid defensive scheme, because you look at the type of guys that he brought in: leaner, smaller type of guys that are more quick than fast, guys that can get up the field, guys that can play different positions on the field. I think because that's one of the things, the kind of unknown on offense and defense, like what type of team will you have? And on offense, what type of personnel groupings are you going to do? Like how many receivers do you plan on keeping, tight ends, X, Y, and Z? So I think defense, you kind of get a look into what they're thinking, into what they might want to do on defense, which is something similar to what they did in Minnesota, which is kind of you want solid up the middle, but on all them other positions, you're going to have guys that can play all over the field, be flexible, be fast, and be able to be interchangeable if you're in nickel or dime sets on the field.
Oweh, $100 million player. He's kind of, if you think about the comparison to the offensive side, like him and Chig has that same thing, right? Where they shown flashes where they were, and this is where their careers take off, right? Where they're more of the focal point, better quarterback play as far as Chig is concerned. You have consistent weapons in the home now for Oweh, and you're expecting for those guys to take off. Because when you look at the signings, Oweh and Chig is probably up there as far as these guys need to be impact players day one, right? What do you think their impact is going to be day one against Philly? Do you think they're going to show that now is their time, or do you think it's going to kind of be like a gradually take on as the season progresses?
Well, first off, the comedian part of me had to fight the urge to do my Nigerian accent when you mentioned both of them in the same sentence, my brother. I had to fight it.
Look, I don't know if you was watching. Me and Corey, we always talk about collecting Africans.
Yeah. You need a few. You need a few good ones, man. Trust me. Them and some Samoans, man. You need both of them, bro. I'm telling you. Because when it goes down, when it all falls down, brother, you need them. Okay, let me tell you. But it literally took everything in me to keep a serious face over time in a good conversation here. Kid Kwanko and Oweh and me. I was like, oh, my brother. You're talking about my brother. Hey, God forbid.
I love it.
Okay, hold on. Let me get serious. I'm professional here. I work on two ESPN radio stations. Hold on a second. Well, I believe that Chig and Quark's like nah. But to answer your question, though, seriously, no, I believe those two. They have identified those two guys as future stars on this team. That's why you pay them the money up front. That's why you get them in your building. You've identified that they're young guys that can contribute to your team for the next few years, and they're going to be cornerstones on that field. I believe on the offensive side of the ball, Zach Ertz was Jaden's security blanket for 2 seasons, right? And as we've seen, old blankets only work if you've grown up with them, right? They don't work in real life. Oh, this is an old blanket, okay? This serves a purpose. But on the football field, I need younger blankets, right? I need a younger security blanket. So having a young athletic guy to go into the offense and kind of spread the field, they've identified that that's the guy that they want to have that on the offensive side. And then on defense, the waves that Oweh has made in San Diego, with the Chargers and then with the Ravens, they've shown that, hey, if you see a guy, especially at the edge position, edge is turning into quarterback in this nature, that once you've identified a guy, you better pay him early, because you're gonna be too expensive when it comes time to actually pay them. So you pay them early, bite the bullet now, in hopes that it'd be savings later. So with that being said, I think the scouting department and the coaching staff has identified those two guys as key guys that'll be a part of the program going forward. And I am expecting a big week one day for them. I'm expecting a big week one opportunity for everybody, because I feel like that first week is where you can really change the narrative of how people are seeing you and letting them know that the 2024 season, while we hate talking about it, but letting them know that that season was not a fluke and they're back and ready to continue to build off what they've already started.
And with Chig and Owe, right? Like they are, what's the word I'm looking for? Those two guys are, I don't even know if it's disrespect. Like I don't think it's disrespect that Chig wasn't a top 10. He wasn't honorable mention. He didn't even get one vote, right? Because if you look at his numbers, Ertz had better numbers than him, right? So it's like you cannot be upset at that. Then when it comes to Owe the same way. He was very consistent throughout the year. He had a big playoff game for sure. But it's not like, oh yeah, they play for the Commanders, so they just not one of the. No, that's just wasn't it. Like, you know, I mean, you can argue about it. I mean, they had Montez Sweat. They had a couple people that got at least one vote, and he didn't get a vote. So though both of those dudes coming into this situation was like, look, it's time for me to take that next step. And especially with Owe, because with this wide receiver room, you hear a lot. Well, Chig is the wide receiver too, right? I don't like that. I know he can play the slot. I know he can play a flex wide. Like I know he can run the seams. He can play outside the numbers, but you can't rob Peter to pay Paul, right? He's a tight end. You know what I'm saying? So where are you when it comes to that wide receiver room?
Well, Deuce, I'll be honest with you, man. And I see the discourse online a lot, and I try to stay out of it, like because some of these rooms that I'm in now, you hear some different perspectives. I know you do. And look, I be in there. I be like, I want to say such and such, but here it is. Like, is that some of these conversations that I get to have with some people, I truly believe, and this is no shade to myself or anyone else, is that the people that really know this stuff, I trust that they're a lot smarter than I am, right? Yeah. So I trust those people that are making the decisions because, you know, it's not just, you know, doing whatever you can to go get Brandon Ayuk. It's not just going to get Stephon Diggs. Like, there's so many other items that come into play with acquiring new talent, right? They could also believe that they have enough in the interim to get the job done with what they're trying to do, right? You know this about anything. If you've been any type of leader, whether it's at your church, whether it's coaching the team, whether it's at work, at your job, like, you know that chemistry is a whole lot, right? So regardless of productivity, if the people that you bring in are not buying into what you have or not going to be a good fit, then you're not going to do it, right? You're not going to sacrifice the interim goals. You're not going to sacrifice your internal chemistry for an interim goal, and it may not even come to fruition, right? That's not saying that bringing them in may or may not do that, but I'm leaning on the fact that they know more in that building than we do, right? So while I would love for them to just go sign whoever, it ain't my money, it ain't my picks, I don't care. Like, go do it. They understand that the decisions that they make have repercussions, right? You make, for sure, you've seen how it happens in the league. You make one bad decision and then you're out of a job, like my guy in Minnesota, Kwesi, I forget his whole name, but guys, Rand Carthon had a couple drafts with the Titans, and now he's out, right?
So well, the dude in Minnesota had a baby,
for sure. Yeah,
that's what I heard. I mean, allegedly.
Boy, I had a really good joke that I'm just not gonna leave because I don't want your podcast to go a different direction. Brother, this will turn into a like, hey, we're gonna talk about politics. Nah, yeah, I don't want to do that. But I say that, like, the decisions you make can affect how long you have your job, right? And sometimes you got to weigh those decisions and understand that it may not be the decision right now. You may have to wait on some of these things, and you may also feel very confident in what you already have. So I said all that to say is that I trust the decisions that they're going to make. While I always believe you can add talent, I do believe they want to see a few things in live action before they make another move. I believe that there could be something coming within the first week of training camp.
Yeah.
Should they not see what they're looking for, I think you may see some urgency with trying to get something done with signing someone else. There could be. But if anybody knows, we know over the past few years that receiver has been an issue, especially last year with Terry getting hurt, you know, you're seeing how the team suffered with that. So to answer your original question, that no, I don't believe Chig would be used as a second option. I believe he'll be a high volume guy in the offense, but I do not believe he's going to be considered the second wide receiver in this offense. I do believe they're going to scheme up to do a lot of different things on offense, and time will tell how that'll turn out.
I mean, I think, hey, Kim, how are you, Kim? Nick, I think, like, what's up, Skins Nation? I think Dan Quinn is going to talk a lot. Like, he's already been talking a lot. Like, every time he talks, he has some type of hot take about a player or a coach. And then having these two young coaches, he's going to be propping them up as much as possible throughout training camp. Right.
Yeah.
That's
and they hear it all
to
too.
do.
Like
for sure.
He understands where he is with this team, and he understands the urgency, which is so crazy to me, Deuce, because we were talking about this team with Carson Wentz, with Sam Howell, who's my guy. We were talking about this team through the years with bad quarterback play, and now all of a sudden we had one good season in 2024, and we think that it has to happen immediately. When brother, I'm 40 years old. I've seen us be good a couple times, and none recent. You know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, I'm like, I get it, but they hear it, and they hear the pressure, and they understand the pressure that they're under, because I believe, just like every other opportunity, is that the best time to win is with a quarterback on a rookie deal, and you're trying to get it done as soon as possible. And they hear it, they know it, and he's under just as much pressure as we're putting him under.
And that's the thing, right? That's why there's so much urgency, because now you got the quarterback that the head coach that drafted that quarterback going into a third year, right? He had an absolute wonderful year one, right? Year two was horrible, right? And you could talk injuries and all that other good stuff. Like, nobody care about your daddy issues, right? Like, the fact of the matter is, you come into year three, and when you look at this roster, it's not a lot of, like, when you, especially in the wide receiver room, and putting like weapons around Jaden, right? Like, we have these 1 year weapons, right? But I think that the issue that I kind of have is who's running with Jaden.
Yeah.
Right. Like, the 1 year, I get it. You got this guy coming in, that guy, but who's going to be running with Jaden for the next 3 or 5 years? And I just don't see. Hopefully, Antonio Williams can do that, but he hasn't played a preseason game yet. Right. Luke hasn't given me enough to say it's going to be him. Diami is, he's doing his videographer thing. And then you got Jalen Lane.
Not too much of my guy, bro. Not too much of my guy.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, for sure. Hell, UNC, right? But that's the thing, though. It's like who is growing with him, and that's what I thought that this offseason was going to look more so. But they tried, they just couldn't finish.
What, Deuce? I the thing is, right? Like, now on a regular basis, I get to talk about the NFL as a whole, right? So while I do get to talk about the Commanders, I get to kind of see the league as a whole and see the rosters. And the thing is, bro, like, it's like 6 or 7 teams that really have it together.
That's true.
Every year. And the rest of the league is trying to catch up, right? So I also don't want to get too ahead of myself, believing that we're one of those class teams that should always be in this conversation every year. Not because it's always been bad, but we still have a lot to prove, in my opinion. While I believe Jaden is the truth and he is the next great quarterback, I believe he still has a lot to prove to himself and to the league as a whole, right? And, all these positions, and I think that goes back to the previous thing we were talking about with the draft and free agency, is that they're trying to get it together, right? So year by year, you're piecing it together with hopes that you will be able to see the whole thing grow. You have the baby, hoping that you be there all 18 years, right? Hoping there's no divorce, hoping everything works out, hoping you're healthy and everything is all good. You can see it through graduation, right? But the thing is, the NFL doesn't allow that. And there has to be a middle ground where you have to understand what you actually have and what you're trying to attain, and how actually close you are to that and how far away you are. Most teams, like I said, 6 or 7 teams kind of have it all together where they're actual contenders this year. Then you have the mid-tier, which I believe that we're in, where, you get a couple breaks like we did in 2024. It's a different conversation, right? But as you can see, as the years have, as the years have continued to accumulate, you have a draft here, you have a draft there, you have multiple free agent classes, you get a chance to kind of build your team that way. And I think, every team in the league is trying to get what we have. It's a good quarterback to run with, a good wide receiver and a good running back to continue to build their offense through. And while we would love for it to already be in progress and in place, it's just not, it just may not be there yet. It still may take some time for that to grow and develop.
And I think it's like when we're thinking about the NFL now, right? And you looking at the success, right? You think every year two enters, right?
Yeah.
And then when we're one of those two enter teams and then we drop, it's like we can do this, right? And then you start coming up with reasons why you weren't able to do it the next year. Like, how can you be in the conversation every year? And it's all about roster building. Like you say, like teams flip, like these coaches' lifespans with their current team is so short is because they're not able to win. Like there's no more patience. Yeah. Right. There's no more patience. And most of the coaches that's been at their jobs a long time have Super Bowl wins.
Yeah.
Right. Perennial playoff teams. Right. And even those dudes this past year, they haven't done it in a few years and they were fired. Right. So the NFL is about getting right now results. And of course, us as fans know all the best moves to make.
Of course.
Right. So when they don't make those moves and we see at the end of the year they're not good, then it's like, hey, they should have listened to us.
Brother, man, the few hours a day that you put in, talking about the team and, not seeing it's crazy because on this side, like I said, getting a chance to see a few things, like you see the amount of work that goes into it. You see the real depth that goes into some of these guys, like with pre-draft stuff, you get a chance to see like what they really, how they really invest into understanding and learning these players. All for it to be a crapshoot, right? All for it to be an opportunity. And that's the thing. Like, we don't know, man. A garbage can get a steak every now and again, right? So it's
even it's bit off of.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's really a crapshoot. It's really tough, right? So that's why I a lot of times I just leave it up to the individuals. Because the same way that in your industry and my industry, we're the subject matter experts to everybody else. So if anybody has a question about where I work, they ask me, right? And they expect me to be able to give them the best information. If they knew everything, they would just do it on their own. But you asked me for a reason, right? So leave it up to the team to make the right decision and make the smart decision and just hoping that everything comes together and everything. And like I said, at the end of the day, I just want to be, I just want my insanity to be validated, right? If we can take it, if we can have a couple one-score games where I take it all the way down to the end, I'm good. I'm not tripping too hard. But I'm just hoping that they make the right decision.
It said Mikey they're looking for help around the house. About time.
Okay, good.
About time, right? We can see what that looks like right after he dropped that video yesterday. That workout video.
Yeah.
And like you made a great point about. Because I think a lot of times, like when we talk this game and on the timeline, you hear people talk about it. It's really zeroing in on our team, and the playoff teams that have success. Like that's who we're being compared against, and not everybody else, right? Because like if you have a regular 9 to 5, you're not watching all of those games. And even if you do have the what is it, the quadruple set TV, whatever it is that you do have one of those
in the DWill Center.
It's very difficult to focus on 4 TVs, right? So if you got a regular 9 to 5, like it's very difficult to really get a grasp of understanding of the other 31 other teams compared to your team to make to make a point or a take about what a room should look like, right? But who cares about that, right? Fandom has no intelligence. All I know is my team should be better than what I see in February.
Absolutely, man. And it's the delusion that we wake up with every day that we just know everything and this is how it's supposed to go. Money's infinite. We don't know anybody's personal life. We don't know anything that has anything to do with some of these decisions that are made. And of course, just like everybody, we just want the best for our team. And, it's the blind delusion that, you love. And that's what you need to be a fan.
Yeah,
but I also,
sure.
that, those those guys are smarter than me. They watch it a whole lot more than I do, and I'm hoping they make the right decision. You know, he's just hoping, and I think too with fans, man, they also want to feel a little bit of validation. Feel like, yeah, I saw that one coming. Yeah, I do that. I called that. Yeah, I said that. And sometimes you might be right because we fans do know ball, right? Sometimes you might be right, but you know, I trust that they'll make the best decision possible.
D-Will, man, I appreciate you for coming through, man. As always, we definitely got to hit up. It seems like we go to a away game every year. I haven't even checked in with you about the games this year, but we definitely going to tap in to see what
Arizona and Tennessee, man.
Arizona, good, because it like is in what, November? That game was in November, right?
Yeah, so the Arizona game is after, it's the Sunday after Thanksgiving.
Okay, yeah, because I'm not going no more. Last time I went in September, bro.
Ooh, it was cooked.
Sweating as hot as a mug down that joint, bro. All right, man. Let everybody know how they can follow you, and don't take all day because I know you got a whole lot of handles.
Let me pull the list out. Hold on a second. Nah, man. Listen, man. Of course, dudes, I always appreciate you, man. You always support, always look out. Everything you're doing, I'm so proud to see you knocking it out, man. Love it for you, man. But everybody, you can follow me right there. DWillDoesItAll on all platforms. See me there. Every Thursday, you can see me well, you can hear me rather on ESPN 630 with the line change with Mike Callow. The podcast is available later that afternoon, and then sporadically you'll see me on ESPN 106.1 down in Richmond doing a lot of stuff coming up with high school sports there. So that'll be a good time as well. But in the meantime, between time, everywhere, man, follow me. D-Will Does It All. Make sure you stream Lowe's Run, which is out right now. And if you do go to Lowe's, you tell them that I sent you. Before you go, tag them in that video. And yeah, that's how we gonna do it. But I appreciate you, brother, and everybody watching, man. Peace and love, man. I hope to catch up with you soon, my man.
Peace.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, comment, check out the community. Oh, look at this, you go.
And I couldn't hear you.
I love it.
What up, Deuce? What's good,
Rio? I just want to say you owe me about $350. $350? You owe me about $350. This is why.
Okay.
One day I was scrolling Instagram and I saw these crab legs and I saw somebody like it and it had Rio Robinson. It's a place called Chasing Tails.
Okay.
And I interacted with Chasing Tails. And since then, I done been there like twice.
It's so good.
It's so like it is so good. It is so good. Hold on. It is so good, bro. Like every time I go, I get the all you can eat joint, man. And it's
boils, man. They be going crazy there, man. What's good with it, man?
Nothing, chilling, man. How you been, man?
I am good, man. I'm ready to get to training camp so we can talk about things that are actually happening and less hypotheticals and guys that we're not gonna sign in the next couple of years.
For sure. Like Jeremy Fowler just put something out not too long ago about Stephon Diggs. You know, we talked with him, but they Commanders are looking for speed. So so for the next 3 days, we're gonna be looking at free agent wide receivers that have speed. So that's gonna take up the next 3 days, Rio.
Oh man, hey, we need it though, because the algorithm that don't dry unless the words Ayuk or Diggs are in it. And I'm exhausted with the Ayuk topic, and it gets a little murky. It gets a little murky. It gets a little murky when we start talking about Diggs because the things surrounding his name starts to get into territory I don't want to talk about on the channel.
This is the thing, right? Do you want the crash out social media dude that does cartwheels and plays with a soccer ball, or do you want the booty band? Like, which one of those dudes do you want? Like, what do you?
Hey, choose your fighter. But I want someone that's available today, that's going to continue to be available, that can produce today. But I also just want the fan base to breathe for a second, because I think we're good with what we have. We can always add more. You could also always throw some sauce and a cherry on top of the sundae, but I think the ice cream hitting already, man.
Yeah, and that's the thing though, right? Like, what type of ice cream do you like? right? Like you have a top 3, right? So what type of ice cream do you like, right? So like when you look at this wide receiver room, like I'm old school. I'm a butter pecan guy, right? Like I'm a butter pecan guy, but I also love cookies and cream, right? And I also like going to Readers and just getting like 3 or 4 things before I leave. You know what I'm saying? So like it depends. Like how are you looking at this room? So your thing is Antonio Williams is going to be the key to this offense, because I think you've been leaning a lot into Antonio Williams because the wide receiver too, because I say like it's Terry in them, but then we got this young demon that's on the roster that he's shown out in college. He's a heck of a route runner. They're very high on him. Why not Antonio Williams?
I think he's your wide receiver too. We're so conditioned and hardwired because Dan Snyder was the owner for the last 20 to 30 years. We're so conditioned to what the shiniest thing on the market, man. Yeah. We don't play with the toys that's at home. My neighbor just got a new bike. I want a new bike too.
Right.
Nick's got Jalen Waddle. This guy got this. This guy got that. Drake May gets AJ Brown. Listen, man, they went out and they tried to get the white boy from the Colts, man. They threw a bet. They were about to pay him more than Terry McLaurin, which is egregious, by the way.
Yeah, but for sure.
They went out, tried to get him. They went out and tried to get Romeo Doubs, and we know what the situation is like in Brandon Ayuk. You can't want a guy that doesn't want the right things to happen for himself. He doesn't even want to do what it takes to get back on the field, and I'm supposed to keep taking ass for Brandon Ayuk like the rest of the fan base. Now I'm cool, man. Cool, bro. If it happens one day, cool. I'll welcome him with open arms. But I think we added a wide receiver that provides something Jaden hasn't had since he got to the league yet.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be key for him, right? And I know when you think about Chig, so my thing about Chig is when you hear about the wide receiver group and you hear like a lot of the fans, the ones that we are high on the wide receiver group, we'll kind of add Chig in there too, which I understand he can do the flex stuff. He can do the seam stuff. He can do the stuff outside of the numbers, but you can't rob Peter to pay Paul, right? Because he's still a tight end, right? Yeah. But overall, where does Ben Sinnott fit into this offense on taking it into another level?
Ben Sinnott. Yeah, we got to go pretty far for me to start saying what I think Ben Sinnott's going to do. First of all, I just need him to keep stacking days in July. I need him to stack days in July, stack days in August, because me hearing his name multiple times in one offseason is more times than I've heard his name in the first 2 years of his career. So first things first, keep doing that, brother. Second thing, let's see it in the preseason. I want him getting reps with a quarterback that can actually throw the football to him, whether that's Ethan Kaliakmanis, whether that's Marcus Mariota. I need less Sam Hartman with Ben Sinnott time.
I don't need Sam Hartman to play at all.
Ever.
Like ever. Look, only if you need 4 lines, go ahead, have him throw it out there, but have him throw it to the coaches. I do not need to see him at all. Put Prime Manis out there. I want to let him play three quarters every game.
Get that handsome bastard off my football team. He doesn't need the dress, bro. He just needs to be the highest paid water boy in the league. You are a handshake specialist. You're the best in the league at it, bro.
Keep getting look. Jay needs somebody there with him at 4:30. Keep doing that, bro. Like if you can keep doing that, you got your spot. Wherever Jaden show up, if you could just be that face behind him in the background, just barely seeing through the blur, hey, you on this roster, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I do not need to see him at all. I don't need to see Sam Hartman at all. When you think about this defense,
I do think Ben Sinnott, if he puts together a good summer and he builds some chemistry with Jaden, I think we're in a West Coast offense where you could be seeing Jaden throw it to 3 tight ends in the offense, and we see a lot of 12, 13 personnel where multiple tight ends are on the field. But I think the core nucleus of what this offense is going to run through, which is Terry, Antonio Williams, Chig Okonkwo, Bill Krosky Merritt, and Rashad White as a Chris Thompson Swiss Army knife, 40-plus catch type running back. I think that core nucleus is good. And people keep saying, but if Terry goes down, you could literally make that case for every team's number one. If their number one goes down, there aren't too many teams that are wielding T. Higginses on their roster.
Right. That's why Stephon Diggs could say what he say, like, I'm better than your number two. It's a reason why he can say that. That's exactly the reason why.
Yep, because I'm looking at last year, the 4 teams that played on Championship Sunday. Take the Rams out because they got Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. They're not this loaded wide receiver rooms that are full of 5 starting wide receiver. Cooper Kupp was the second best receiver on the Seahawks last year. He was under 500 yards and scored less than 3 touchdowns last year. You go to the Broncos, Cortland Sutton, he does the Terry thing where he's barely over 1,000 yards, but he's a good receiver. After that, you got to start sprinkling around like Marvin Mims and Franklin, the Oregon kid. He's cool, but they don't have
Troy Franklin. Like our fans was going crazy. We didn't get him like Troy Franklin.
We be losing our mind over everybody over here. And when you go over to where Nasty Boy Diggs was last year, Diggs was their number 1. Their number 2 was Kayshon Boutte. Kayshon Boutte, cool, but look at the teams playing championship.
We was going crazy for him.
Yeah. Hey, it got so bad this summer that I've seen people say the name DeAndre Hopkins in the Lord's year of 2026.
Gosh,
it's disgusting out here, bro. If Antonio Williams can't be Troy Franklin good, old Cooper Kupp good, or Kayshon Boutte good in year 1, then we don't have a good enough GM at finding talent, bro. Right. We are going to be fine at the receiver position. I think this lazy narrative that Van Jefferson is our wide receiver 2 going into training camp, it's nonsense. Y'all got to stop it, man.
It's because he goes sleeveless at practice, I'm sure. Like, he looks the part, right? Like, he looks the part, right? He looks the part.
Hey,
so, yeah, for sure. But see, like, that's the thing about it, and so much of that is going to be on Blau, right? Like, how Blau can disguise those things that where we think are deficiencies as a fan base, right? Because they're not going to tell us that, you know, we need more firepower than wide receiver. Like, he's not going to do a Cliff. Like, Cliff did that every time they put the mic in front of him. He told you, I don't have my guys out here. Like, he let you know that off the break, right? So, like, when it comes to Blau, how confident? Because last year at this point, like, he was assistant quarterbacks coach, right? Like, he's never led a position group room. And now he's leading a whole offense. How confident are you in him that he's going to be able to put it together to talk about that nucleus, to be able to kind of use them to kind of guide this offense throughout the season?
I think we can all put a number out there, whether it's high, whether it's low, whether it's Goldilocks right in between. But none of us know. We don't know anything about either of these Bammers calling plays for us, the offensive and the defensive guy. And I respect DQ for having the cojones to pick two guys that have never done it before. Durante Jones, he's probably been knocking on the door at this for years. He's
like almost 50, I think, bro.
He's worked with a ton of renowned guys. He's been the right-hand man. He's called plays in college before, but David Blau is wet behind the ear. He was just playing football a couple years ago. He's 30, and you can't knock what it means that he's been in the room with Jaden for 2 years already. So this is not a guy that doesn't know what makes him tick. He already knows the strengths, the weaknesses, and he's watched a system that got stale here. So he knows exactly what doesn't work for the quarterback already. We don't know what his offense looks like. We can assume it's Ben Johnson-like, it's Shanahan-like, it's McVay-like. All of it is hearsay. I am confident that if they chose this guy to be the guy in a year where it's make or break, I don't think DQ is going to be able to hire a third set of coordinators. I trust that he smoked that interview. He's prepared. He's been waiting on his moment, and his little awkward ass is one of those guys. And he has the hard wiring, and he has the demeanor of someone that I think can be one of those wizards at play calling. And if he's anything like Ben Johnson, I wanted Ben Johnson to be our coach so bad. If he's anything like that, we struck gold, and we will be having uncomfortable conversations about our coaching staff by the end of season. So
listen, Dan Quinn could be on a hot seat in a bad way and a good way, right? Like if this offense comes out here on fire and we like top 10 playoffs, I mean, Adam Peters got to be looking. I mean, they wanted David Blau as an assistant quarterbacks coach. Can you imagine as the offensive coordinator if he go out there and he smoke like you saying this league this year? Like Adam got a decision to make.
Yep. I think if he's great, you have a 2-year window to decide that. Those are good problems to have.
Yep.
Because we always theorize about, but what if EB's is so good? But what if Joe Witt is? But what if Cliff? These things never materialize here.
That's
so
true.
Let's let it happen. And a couple years from now, you can have those conversations. I would love to have 2 coordinators that are so good at their job that they're in head coaching conversations come year end. Didn't work out for Cliff and Joe Witt. Cliff did get back on the staff. Joe Witt did get back on the staff. But I think David Blau can be a star in this league. And I think most importantly, because he has a quarterback to work with immediately, and we have an immensely talented one. Maybe he's not a top 10 quarterback, according to NFL executives and coaches and stuff on ESPN surveys.
I wanted to talk to you about that, right?
Yeah.
Who do you take out to put Jaden in?
Jaden. See, the thing is, I didn't expect Jaden to be there in the top 10.
Me either. And I thought I was crazy.
Yeah. See, you have to take your fan hat off when you read these things. Our season was doomed last year. We were a disaster. We were a walking disaster, and Jaden played in 7 games. They're not giving him that after what we went through last year. They're not going to give it to him. Hey, Jaden's better than Caleb Williams, bro. Jaden is better than Caleb Williams, but Caleb had a better season because Caleb played the full season. He had the offensive coordinator bump that him and Drake May got with Josh McDaniels and Ben Johnson last year. We get that bump this year, the element of surprise. And they performed. One went to the Super Bowl. One should have been in the NFC Championship round. Caleb should have been there, but he threw a hot tuna melt up in overtime. And
there it is, right?
It's Caleb. He's better than Jaden's better than Caleb. And that's why I love in that little honorable mention blurb for Jaden. They're like, I would still take him over May and Caleb because I think that Jaden's a better decision maker. He throws a better touch timing and anticipation than these guys. And it just the eye test looks right when he's right, but he wasn't right last year, and this team damn sure wasn't. So we're being taxed because of
it. And I thought that was an interesting point where you said, like, even still, right? Even still that Jaden is where he is and they where they are. If I'm running the team, I'm still starting that team off with Jaden. Because even when you have those conversations about Jaden, when you look at his true numbers by when he was on the field, like he was still that guy, right? Like even with what he had around him, he was still that guy. But when you have those conversations, they only want to talk about, he was injured, but he was still that guy. All right, well, I do want to talk to you about Krosky Merritt, right? Mm-hmm. What do you think? Because you got the last running back drafted in the 7th round. He comes in. We say the season that he had. You could blame Cliff. You can blame that his body wasn't really ready. You could talk about all of those different things. But at the end of the year, he had 800 plus rushing yards, being as though everything we went through last year. Mm-hmm. Do you think the Love conversation kind of drowned out Bill? Because if Love wasn't there or whatever, like we would be higher, or the fan base as a whole would have been higher on Bill than what we are now. Because a lot of people talking about that he's not even going to be RB1.
I see 1,000 yards minimum from Bill Krosky Merritt rushing the ball for this team this year. He's 1,000-yard back. As long as he gets touches, he put on more weight. He has a better NFL body, and he's not coming off a year where he played no football. His final year in college was pretty much a red shirt year. So he's in an NFL offense. He's in an offense that will actually run him to the outside. He was the only back that could run outside, but he didn't get outside touches last year. That made sense, right, Cliff? I like Cliff. I don't have a problem with Cliff, but his offense didn't make sense at times. If he's not 1,000-yard back, I don't know what a 1,000-yard back is, because if he had 200 carries last year, he's easily over 1,000. If he gets
because you had those numbers, because I was listening to your pod when you was talking about those numbers.
Yeah. Easily, he had 176 carries. If he wasn't phased out the offense for 5 weeks, he only had 15 or more carries once the entire season and still managed to give us 800 yards and 8 touchdowns. And I think in a more traditional big boy grown man offense where we're going to have these big ugly linemen out in space pick and choosing and forming walls to open up things for him. A one-cut reactor runner like Bill can easily get to 57 yards a game over 17 weeks.
Who's the weakest link on the offensive line?
It's got to be Nick. It's got to be Allegretti until we see otherwise. But I think that's a good problem to have, that it's a center rather than a guard or a tackle being the weakest link. And I think Allegretti is going to be fine. I don't think there's going to be much drop off, if there's any, from Tyler Biadasz. And I think that's the reason why they let him walk. And they didn't aggressively pursue center after Lindenbaum got that disgusting sacrilegious contract from the Raiders.
Insane. All right, let's flip to the defensive side a little bit. They bring in Rasul Douglas last week. And I was kind of thinking, because the reports was they was, talking with him for the last couple months already. They decided to bring him in last week and add him to the room. Amos, right? He had a clean break. I'm expecting him to be ready for training camp, right? But if he starts training camp on PUP, do I panic, Rio?
That would make me uncomfortable. That would make me uncomfortable because I think some of the energy that we give this wide receiver room, and people wake up every day before they clock into work, they got to get a "I hate the receiver room" tweet off. I think we need to give some of that energy to us not drafting a secondary player, because in what world did the secondary we had going into the draft say, "Oh, we're good, we don't need to take a safety or a corner in the draft"? I think that's the most shocking revelation of the entire offseason.
And when you think about, you got Mikey, you got Amy, both of those guys top 3 yards given up, both of those guys top 5 in touchdowns given up last year, but they got a lot of grit, right? Mikey was really good 2 years ago in college, like Durante said. Amy, like, he went toe-to-toe with Jettas. But those are moments, right? Those are moments. What do you see from these guys, and what type of impact do you think they need to have for this defense to hit its ceiling?
For one, I need Mikey to not play inside anymore, because he's not good at it.
He's not good at all.
He's not good at it. Doesn't have the hips, the quick twitch, or the athleticism to play on the inside. You are an outside off coverage.
You know why? Because he got goats. He should have got chickens. If he had chickens, his hips would be better. But he got goats.
Hey, shout out to Mikey, by the way. Mikey was hosting the Love Island party last night. Someone got him to do a little shout out for the Commanders Kings video. Shout out to my guy Abel Ambrosio for pulling that off, by the way. But Mikey,
I love it.
Mikey needs to stay his ass outside, and we need to stop experimenting with which one he is at this point. He needs a full-time job. He's worn way too many hats. He needs to stay to one side. I think the biggest question on the defensive side of the ball is, how good is Trey Amos? Because the answer to that question will tell us what we have in the secondary. Because if we have one dude that's a guy in the cornerback room, we're good. We're good, because I think Nick Cross is going to be a lot better than people anticipate. I don't know what's next to him at free safety. I'm praying for the best with Will Harris and company. I hope it's not Jartavius Quan Martin. But the cornerback room, Trey Amos is the X factor to how good that room could be. I think Amik will be fine on the inside. I think Mikey could be fine opposite him, but I need Trey Amos to be one of those, man. I need Trey Amos to be a guy. I need Trey Amos to be as good as he look in the uniform, because he checks all of the cornerback one aesthetic boxes for me. And if he's on the PUP or not out there to start training camp, the Rasul Douglas signing is going to make a lot more sense to anyone that it didn't, because that's a dude who may be our best cornerback going into the season right now.
And that's interesting, right? Because if Amos is not on the PUP list, and if he comes in, let's just say, like, he was signed July 7th because he told him, "Hey, look, I don't need no camps. I don't need no mini camps. I don't need any of that. Like, I'll see you at training camp. Let's do this after all that." He comes in training camp. Hey, man, we go into these joint practices and these preseason, and we get these reports that it's him out there with Amos. And it's Mikey and Amik, like, battling out in the slot. Like, Mikey is going to lose that battle to Amik if them two is battling only for the slot.
Hey man, may the best man win. Iron sharpen iron. That defense was god awful last year. Whoever wins whatever job, I do not care. Go out there, improve it. We took cornerbacks back to back in the second round. The second round of the draft has been our kryptonite for 25 years. At some point, someone's got to break the curse. I want to see Mikey and Amos out there on the outside, but if it ends up being Rasul Douglas taking somebody's chain, then it be like that sometimes, man.
Yeah, I'll take it.
But I think the pass rush and the front seven that we've managed to put together this offseason is going to be so good that the cornerbacks aren't going to have to do too much. They're not going to have to bite too much off the bone, because I think that the pressure and the chaos created up front and the coordinator that we hired are going to do a good enough job making it hard for quarterbacks that we're not going to need two Darrelle Revises out there.
When it comes to this pass rush, right? I think it's going to be more so. I don't think it's going to matter who starts, right? I think it's going to matter who finishes, right? Who's going to be able to be out there on multiple packages? Who's going to be able to, when it comes to these pass rushers specifically, who do you think is going to have the biggest impact between Owe and Chason? Just talking about year one, just talk about this upcoming year.
I think it's Odafe Owe. I think those are the two guys you primarily see rushing the quarterback from the edge too. I think Dorrance Armstrong, I'm not taking away from what he brought here, and I think I want to know a health update on him, because I haven't heard that name. I haven't heard that name all off season. People forget he's on the team. And I think after the signings of Chason and Owe, it's very easy to envision a foreseeable future where those are your starting edge rushers going into 2026. I think Owe is the double-digit sack guy on this team. Yeah. I think they envisioned it when they signed that big-ass contract, and I think he's been building up to it to this point of his career. I like that we're going out and signing guys that are almost there, but not quite yet, and giving them the bag to say, I believe you're about to turn into a budding superstar in this league. He's the Chig Okonkwo signing of the defensive side of the ball. I think it's Owe all the way. That little post the team put out with him in the game uniform today, that boy looks sweet, man.
He looks sweet, don't he? It's Owe time. It's Owe time. But I wonder, just with Durante and the system that he comes from, like, is that going to kind of hinder Owe from getting like 14 plus? But we talk about the rotation, like when you do have Wise, you do have Omenihu, like you do have other guys that you can bring in to rush the passer. Like, how much of a rotation do you think Durante is going to employ, or is it going to look different from week 1 to week 7 to week 14 and so on?
I think he's the guy that has less flu. I think there's going to be less movement with Owe than the rest of the group. Like, I think Chason's side is where you start to experiment. You start to move him around. I think Owe is going to be out there rushing the passer more early and often than anyone else. I think that's what he's brought here. That's what he's paid. He's not paid to be out in coverage. They're not going to have Owe. Chason, they may drop him back in coverage sometime. The rookie, Joshua Josephs, he's a guy you may drop.
You remember that video?
Yeah. I saw him dropping coverage one time. I was like,
whoa.
I was like that AP video when you seen him throw that ball. Like, when you seen him dropping coverage. Hip sank, the change of direction.
Oh my goodness! I'm like, they talk about look at son. I'm like, no, who is that? Who is that guy?
And that ugly ass number too.
Right.
I said, hold up. I've seen safeties the last couple years not sinking in coverage. Like that.
I can't wait to see him, bro.
Saquon, is that you?
See him, man. It's another question I've been kind of asking. When it comes to players getting to their ceilings, right? In order to win this division, Rio, give me 5 players across the team that need to reach their ceiling or play at their ceiling in order for us to win a division.
Jerzon Johnny Newton is probably the first name that comes to mind. Because
what do you think about him and Payne? Do you think that's a competition, or you think it's just Payne Newton? Like, how do you think that's gonna work?
I think you're going to see a lot of move. I'm telling you, Owe is one of the only people on that front line I don't see getting moved around a lot. Gotcha. I think if Durante Jones is anything like Brian Flores, you're going to get a heavy dose of Settle. You're going to get a heavy dose of Kinlaw. You're going to get a heavy dose of Payne. You're going to get Johnny Newton, and you're going to put Johnny Newton in places where he succeeds. I don't need to be out here pretending that Johnny Newton can stop the run. No, you find ways to get his big ass chasing quarterbacks and you make it happen. I don't want 5 sacks on some Fugazi. I had 3 sacks on Christmas. I wasn't effective throughout the year. I want him moving like a guy that people told me was a top 25 player and a surefire first round pick if it weren't for the Liz Frank or whatever foot injury he had coming in. So Johnny Newton's the first player I need playing at their ceiling this year. This is not 4. So this isn't a name you'd expect on a list like this, but I need Terry McLaurin playing at the top of his game. I don't want barely over 1,000 yards Terry this year. I want flirting with.
You talking about 7 straight spam screens?
Yeah. I know. Forcing him the ball to get him 1,000 because Eric B. Enemy was an offensive terrorist that year. I want flirting with 1,250 yards Terry McLaurin. If Terry is playing like a still surefire number 1 receiver this year, that alleviates so much thing. Him having 13 touchdowns in 2024, I've never seen Terry moving like that. And if Terry's an 85 catch, 1,200 yard, 7-8 touchdown guy, this offense is going stupid. And we're back playing meaningful football in January and possibly February.
Rio, man, thank you so much, man. I just want to thank you so much. I'll be looking for that 350, and I also want to say,
so 350 though. What you was getting, bro? You was getting the whole menu.
Yeah, I was doing the all-you-can-eat joint. You know, my wife would go. I even snuck out there. I hope she's not watching. I snuck out there.
Hey, you got to. Hey, I'm sorry. Hey, I'm divorced.
That 160 ain't no joke.
Don't listen. I'm divorced, so don't listen to me. But sometimes you gotta watch the show without her and pretend you ain't see it. Sometimes you gotta go to the movie. Sometimes you gotta go get the eats and act like you ain't eat dinner yet.
Oh my goodness. Tell everybody about the Commander Kings event coming up August 23rd.
For sure, man. Hook Hall, DC. We in the district with it this year, August 23rd, 4 p.m. till 10 p.m. or whenever we decide to end it, man. We got a signature drink competition, but most importantly, we're there to talk Commanders football. We want this to be an annual thing that we do. So we want to toast to the season with y'all. We're talking roster projections, preseason recaps, game-by-game record predictions, audience and fan Q&As, photo booths, and we're all voting. We want y'all to vote on who has the best drink between me, Lou, Rico, and Ed. So my drink will be called the Rio Rita. Louis T's is the TNT. Rico's is ATL Ho, and Ed's is the chair shot. We're going to be doing 4 quarters. I'm closing it out. 4's in the chat when my drink come out. If we still alive and drinking by the time we get to the 4th quarter, the Rio Rita's going to close it out. And in our overtime session, we're going to vote on it, man. Let's bring in these burgundy and gold cheers and toast to another deep playoff run going into 2026, man. I can't wait to see everybody out
for there, man. Again, Rio, I mean, most of the people here already know where you at, but I gained some 49er fans and subscribers over the last 3 weeks, having fun with them, the 49er team. But just in case they want to follow you, let everybody know where they can follow you at, man.
Oh, and I see Kim in the chat. Shout out to Kim. Hi, Kim. How you doing, Miss Kim? It's on Georgia Avenue, by the way, in DC. It's called Hook Hall, DC.
I send you the info, Ken.
Rio_Robinson91 on social media. Always speaking my mind. You never know what you're gonna see on my social. I went down memory lane and I was posting MySpace pictures and photo bucket pictures and verses from when I had my rapper era from 2008 to like 2012. But Rio Robinson on YouTube.
My rap name is Black Dolphin, Rio.
Black Dolphin. I was Rio. I was Moneymaker Rio. I was Rio Metaphorical. I've lived a lot of lives in my 35 years. And we ramble with Rio. You never know what we're going to talk about on the channel. And we got the Commanders Kings as well. I'm all over the place, and we're ready to ramp this thing up where you really see me everywhere once this season and camp starts.
For sure, man. Rio, again, man, appreciate you for coming through, man. I'll see you on the timeline. Definitely going to be reaching back out. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, you probably see me at camp. Whenever you need me, call me, man. Let's get it, bro. I see you.
For sure.
I love the Red Zone radio thing you got going on here. Keep that
appreciate
going,
that. Appreciate that, man. Oh, because I know how you feel about the local radio guys.
Shout out to him, but not really. This the radio. What we do, this is the pulse of the fan base, and they be watching our stuff.
Oh, for sure. For sure. For sure. All right, man. I get up with you, man. Appreciate you.
Yes,
homie.
sir. Yes, sir.
All right, man. Oh, man. Rio, man. Appreciate everybody that pulled up, man. We got some more in the building. We got the Burgundy and Gold podcast. The Knuckleheads about to join us. It's day 5. We almost there. A few more days left for 30 plus of your favorite Commander content creators. We having a ball, man. It's been an absolute ball. We're gonna have them up right after this. We'll take a few minutes. One of my producers said I need to get some water, so let me go grab some water, and we're gonna come back with the Knuckleheads. We'll be right back.
Man, we've been waiting a long time for this, baby. Red Zone in the lab. Commanders. It's time. Let's get it, homie.
Oh, you was back in here solo, huh? I done messed the let me fix this real quick. All right, there you go. All right, there you go. Oh man. Um, we are back.
Yes, sir.
Where Ken go?
I don't know.
I know he was just right here. All right, well, he pop in, it'll be all ready for him.
All
But what's
right.
good, man? How you been, man?
What's
Burgundy
going
Go
on, man?
podcast, the Knuckleheads in the building. What's good?
I'm good, brother. How you doing, man? I got
Good,
a
hanging in there.
That's good, man. It's good. I got a tough act to follow with all that energy Rio brings, man. I'm just getting off work and everything. I'm trying to wind it down, and he on a whole nother level with that kind of energy. But we here for it though. What's going on, man?
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, and it's a difference, right? Because I'm not where I normally in. Like, I'm not in the studio, and this camera, like, whenever I move, like the camera moves, right? Like it zones in, it zones out, and make my face real big, and then so I'm like, so I hope people that's watching don't have motion sickness, right? Because I'm trying to stay as still as I possibly can. That's just not what I do. Like, I like moving around. I like using my hands. I like going side to side. So it's been difficult me staying. Ken, was good, man. How you been?
I've been real well. How about you, my man?
Good, man. Hanging in there. The season is almost here. We got 2 more weeks. We got about 3 more weeks before training camp starts. Let's start with the wide receiver room. Right, been a whole lot of talk about the wide receiver room.
A whole lot of
some wide receivers been wanting to play with in our wide receiver room. And the report about an hour or so ago that we were one of 5 teams that's reached out to Diggs, but the thought is that we're looking for a speed guy. Right, that's not who Diggs is. We'll see how that materializes. Right, but for me, it's still Terry in them. Right, like it's still Terry for them and them for me. Antonio Williams, I'm hoping, I believe that he's going to be one of them ones. I really do believe that. But again, we have to see it. So let's start with you, Ken. Looking at this wide receiver room as a whole, how confident are you?
I assume you're excluding Terry, right? I've got confidence in Terry, but after that, yeah, it's very concerning. It's a lot of I don't knows. You mentioned Stephon Diggs. I don't have a problem with him from a speed perspective because we have people that are speed, right? You got De'Ami Brown. Now they're not what I would classify as a true number 2, but if they're used right between Terry and whoever the speed guy is, you can work in Stephon Diggs as an example if we end up signing him. So there's you can bring in speed at different positions. It doesn't have to be your true number 2 because we run 3 wide receiver set a lot.
So you want me to give it a go, Deuce?
I mean, I don't know, man. It sounds like you hesitate. Speak your mind.
No,
Speak your mind.
I'll just say this, man. I understand that there's a need for a number 2 wide receiver. And like Ken said, there's a lot of big ifs, I think, surrounding the team, but that's from top to bottom, if you're being quite honest. But I think the team going into the season with Terry and a bunch of other guys is hoping to kind of hit lightning in a bottle once again, like they had in 2024, man. And I understand that Brandon Ayuk was supposed to be the guy, or maybe that's what Adam Peters was going for until I think Brandon Ayuk, BA shot himself in the foot here with this whole situation. But I think, man, listen, at the end of the day, we got the schedule is tough, right? Let's be quite honest. And so we're going to have to score some points. And so with that being the case, we saw what happened when Terry went down. I'm not wishing anything on Terry, but man, if Terry can get in and get that 1,200 yards type season, then I think we'll be okay. But man, we're one injury away from the rest of the guys. Van Johnson, De'Ami Brown, right? We're hoping Antonio Williams provide that spark. And then you got Lane, who can't hold on to the ball. And then you got Luke McCaffrey, who we hope comes back full speed. But at the end of the day, man, I'm a little concerned about the room, to be quite honest with you.
I think one of the things is that when it comes to Jaden, and we talk about how great a lot of us believe Jaden is, will be. And you talk about how he can elevate players, right? Which I absolutely agree with.
Yep.
But scheme, elite quarterback play, elite player beside you, regardless in any position group, they can raise your floor, right? You can rate, but you can't. Only talent can raise ceilings, right? Only talent can raise ceilings, right? So the issue I have is when we talk about, well, we got Jaden. Did you see him in 2024? Yeah, I saw him, right? And I also saw these players that he had fail him because they just wasn't talented enough.
Yes, sir.
Right. So it's like I can work with fourth and fifth floor guys for the regular season, right? I can get you there. But the playoffs, I need eighth, ninth floor guys. You get me a penthouse guy, I'll love that too.
Yes, sir.
But I need guys where you can't jump out the window, where they have to put the firefighter ladder up in the playoffs, right?
Absolutely.
Jaden just can't do that out of guys that's first floor guys.
And that was kind of the point I was making, is we can't hope for Jaden to do what he did in 2024 here in 2026, right? And granted, the schedule is a little bit different in 2024. I know we're playing the last place schedule this time around, but boy, that schedule looks a little more daunting than it did in 2024. And to your point, that can only go so far. If we have the expectation that this team can make some noise, make the playoffs and so forth and so on, then when they get to the playoffs, man, you're gonna need somebody else other than Terry McLaurin. And that's the bottom line. So hopefully Antonio Williams will be that guy. Maybe he'll be this year's Terry McLaurin, right? The guy that we drafted, third round. Hope we can get something out of him. Yeah, he can run some routes and things like this, and he ends up being the guy that Terry has become. So fingers crossed, but this ain't no way to live.
What about you, Ken?
Well, I mean, I don't disagree with anything there. Offensively, to your point, somebody needs to step up. Whether it's Krosky Merritt, whether it's Adafe, one of these wide receivers, somebody needs to step up offensively, not counting Jaden Daniels, right? Somebody else needs to step up for him to distribute the ball. We saw before Jaden got here, teams would just double Terry. He was still productive and still did, pretty darn well. And they just would try and take out Terry, and he might score some during the game, but at key moments, they had a good job of locking Terry down. And and again, that's where somebody else needs to step up. Tight end, running back, wide receiver. We don't know. Do we have enough weapons offensively right now? It's a question mark that we're going to have to wait and see, because there's nobody else out there other than, at this point, B-level players at best.
And I think when you look at the roster, right, because, the conversation today on here with some of the guests that's already been here is, what we know is our team for the most part, right? Like, I dab out there in the NFL, maybe a little more than a little, right? You see my camera going? That's so annoying, but that's okay. I'm only here today. So like it's when you look at these other teams, and I think D mentions that earlier, D will, is that there are about 6 or 7 teams that have like a complete roster in a sense, right? Everyone else is trying to get there, right? So you have some of those other teams that get into the playoffs, right? Because you got 14 now, right? So you're going to get those players, but like that's where you're striving for, right? When you're not a perennial team, you're striving to be that back half of that playoff slot. Like you're trying to be there. And a lot of times, if a lot of teams don't have star players everywhere, right? But the ones that are hyped up the most, the ones we see on Monday Night Football, Sunday night, like those in the playoff, like we see those teams having this. So it's like, oh yeah, everybody in the league has it. No, they don't. That's just not how the NFL works. So like even for me, because I'm not, that's what I say, it's Terry and them, right? Like, am I taking that into consideration when I'm having these conversations? And probably not.
Well, I'll give my take on that because you're 100% right. When you start looking at a lot of NFL roster from top to bottom, you start realizing there's not a lot of studs from all over the roster, right? But the thing about Washington, at least our fan base, is we'll love on somebody real quick, right? You do a couple good things, boy, we'll love on you. And so in the case of our team, our best player outside of Jaden is probably Terry. Where would Terry be on a good team? Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're talking about, man, if we can get this from Terry, but Terry playing in LA, right? And Terry playing in Atlanta, Terry playing on some of these teams. And I love Terry, don't get me wrong, but we don't have a guy that people gonna just marquee, promote, stop, and be worried about. Yeah, Terry's a good player, and everyone's gonna respect Terry and give him his props. But Terry ain't all pro, right? And that's the thing. A lot of these teams you're referring to, you take Kansas City. Yeah, they only got one major receiver, but man, that would be Travis Kelce the few years ago. But he's a damn good player. He's all pro, right? You go back, Julio Jones, man, that guy was all pro. You double him, but he still was getting you 100 yards a night. You double Terry gets 20 yards. And so that's the thing. We got good players, but we don't have those key all pro players on our team. So when you compare us to other teams, yeah, we got talented players, but we certainly don't have that blue chip all pro player that teams are worried about week in and week out. And I think that's the difference when you compare us to other teams in the league.
Yeah, and I would agree. I've whether it's on our podcast or Reggie and I sitting at a bar for the past 10 years watching the games, to me, the difference, I mean, there's definitely bad teams, right? But the difference from a mid-level and above is quarterback and across the whole team, not just offense, but offense, defense, difference makers, right? You got to have a quarterback, and you have to have 4 or 5 difference makers that whether it's somebody putting pressure on the quarterback at defensive end, a linebacker who's flying all over, a lockdown corner, a wide receiver that you can't stop, a running back that, man, a top 5 running back that just gets those extra yards, or once he gets to the second level, man, he might be gone because nobody's going to catch him. And Washington doesn't have those players as of right now. How we evaluate Washington, Jaden, and I'll go ahead and give Terry, but on defense, there's a lot of hope of these players, but there are no difference makers today at this moment on defense. So there's a lot of young talent that can potentially get there. The Sonny Styles of the world, but we'll wait and see.
All right. So all talk, you make a great point, right? Like, he was all pro in 2024. He had a crazy year, finally having a quarterback, right? And I think even last year, when we talk about his age, everything he went through training camp, the injuries, getting injured, missing a few games, coming back too early, getting injured again. He was actually better when he came back than when he was the beginning of the year. Yeah. Right. He's going through the full off season. He's out there with Jaden. He's doing all of the things that he needs to do that he didn't do last year. Right. And he takes care of himself. And that's one thing that when we think about as players get older, what separates the players that continue to have success as they get older is how they take care of their bodies in all sports, right? Absolutely. Like we're saying it now with the 42-year-old guy that got the NBA on hold until he makes a decision, right? I mean, he's 42 years old, and you've seen him in the playoffs last year, right? Like, this looks like that guy can play another 3-4 years. It might not be what he was 3-4 years ago, but he's still better than most of the people out there on that high floor with him every night, right? And when you think about, like when you mentioned earlier, Reggie, about like other teams having those all pros and those guys that just go out there every night, it's about what, 6 or 7 of them, right? Like, it's not like it's a ton of them, right? That's so when you get to from 8 to 20, like all those guys are really interchangeable, right? So I think ultimately with Terry, is I think he's going to be successful this year, not because of, in a sense, homerism, but just his true numbers from last year when he was actually on the field, the catches he were making, the separation. If you look, like, I did an episode. I ain't gonna talk. Like, if y'all want to watch it, I broke down all of his numbers, his numbers over the last 5 years on the video. Right, it's very, very impressive. But what he was asking, and it's not about volume, right? It's about target share. Because volume, he's nowhere near those guys, right? But when you talk about per target share, like, he's absolutely up there with those guys, right?
Well, we all know Terry wasn't targeted enough, right? And David Blige talked about that's part of his goal is to make sure Terry gets 9 to 10 targets a game. And you know, we all have sat back and watched over his career. He's got 0 targets in the first half and those types of crazy things. And we're wondering, why don't you get Terry involved in the offense early on? And I certainly don't want to sound like this is a bashing of Terry McLaurin, man. I love Terry McLaurin and hate that he had to go through even the offseason negotiation that he went through with the team. And that's the as they say, the nature of the business of the NFL. But shit, man, Terry is going to always be beloved by this fan base based on who he is, the way he carried himself, and what he gave to our organization throughout his career. In fact, I hope he retire in that uniform. So this is not a knock on Terry. It's just that being able to recognize who our players really are. And just as a side note, it kind of reminds me of the Ryan Kerrigan, right? I was never a big Ryan Kerrigan guy, but man, some people think that should be a statue of Ryan Kerrigan. And I'm like, yeah, he was productive and he was good. He made some Pro Bowls.
The bar is very low.
Right. The bar is very low. And so it's easy for us to fall in love with a guy that's giving us some production. And so, again, I mean, Terry,
we was divided over Tresh Wade giving his number up to Jaden.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff we get into, right? And so again, man, no shade to Terry, and I love the guy, man, and I think he's gonna have a bounce back year. He's happy, he's got married, and all the things, right? And so here we go, with hoping that everything is back. The offense is gonna be different. He heard some good things about being targeted. He's ready to go, man. I hope it really does work out for us this year. So I'm looking forward. I'm excited for the season. So.
All right, so let's go to the defensive side of the ball. Who is going to be the one guy every week that's going to show out and, in a sense, be not so much the I want to say the focal point, but be that leader on defense, not just in word of mouth, not just in hyping people up on the sideline. I'm talking about his play, his leadership, how he demands perfection. Who is going to be that guy on the defense next year?
If you want to know, if you want me to give you the guarantee of who the player is, there is nobody.
Hey, I tell you,
I'm gonna be honest. There's a lot of hopefuls, but I can't tell you. The veteran is drawing pain, but we thought we had that with Jonathan Allen. And then we have Payne. And I'm not trying to say get rid of Payne, but he is what he is. The players are who they are. I mean, if I had to give somebody, I'm going to give it to the rookie because he's the one that doesn't have a track record, right? He has potential to go up. I expect the same from Payne. Again, not that he's a bum by any means, but he's not the one that's leading by example of being a wrecking ball on defense. So I'm going to say nobody.
Well,
What's up, Chris? Appreciate you chopping it up. Go ahead. My bad, Reggie.
Now I'm going to give it a guy. I'm going to actually say Leo. I'm going to think Leo Chenal is going to be that guy. I think he comes in a little bit of a veteran guy, got good money in the all season, comes from a winning organization, understands the leadership, getting an opportunity. And when you get guys that come in who's done and played in Super Bowls and got rings and things of that nature, people are going to look to see, well, how did you guys do it? And although some guys may be more vocal, Kinlaw and some of these other guys might be the loudest, but I think when it comes to the leadership and making sure everybody's getting in spot and doing what they need to do and hulling up that defense, I'm going to say it's going to be Leo. I think Leo is going to be the guy that's going to probably be the glue that gets that defense going.
because I think that's important, right? I think it's
Absolutely.
important on the back end. I think it's important on that front seven that when things, because we're gonna have games where things is gonna be getting away from us.
Yeah.
Right. And we're gonna need someone and like no shot to Bobby, right? But like Bobby could calm people, he can talk. He was a great leader out there, but his play didn't run parallel with that, right? It's not because he's just not good, it's just that it is what it is, right? Like the age caught up, all that stuff caught up. We need somebody that's going to be able to be out there, that's going to be able to, hey, look, let's get this together. Like we still in it. Let's do it. And also his play parallels that, right? Like you can see him because like that's what we need, right? That's why the whole John Allen speeches and all that always hit empty ground because of the fact that it didn't show up on the field.
You
right?
excited?
Like, yeah,
see that?
That's what. So you like you gotta. If you gotta talk it, you gotta be like what oh, I can't remember his name. Oh my gosh, I had it too. You gotta practice what you preach. Right? What is his name, man?
Well, that's why I think it's gonna be Leo, right? I think Leo is kind of
very white.
Kind of a white version of Frankie Louvu, man. I think those guys will just eat concrete, right? Them guys will run through walls, and I think they just love football. And I think when things are starting to get tough and you look on the sideline, the camera pan to the sideline, I can see Leo Chenal on one knee, up and down with his helmet, just kind of chewing on, just chewing at those guys, right? Just trying to rally the team and get them going because he's a little bit of a rah-rah guy as well. And you're right, that wasn't Bobby's personality, but I think Leo is that kind of guy, and I can see him being the guy that's going to try to rally those guys and like, let's get it going, man. Let's get out here and fight and get our way back into this game. So Leo's my pick.
That's the hope. Which position group? You don't need no names, but if you had a starting caliber player that's a pro bowler, right? It could be anybody. We don't need to put no names to it. If you could they say, hey, look, I'll give you one pro bowler. Where would you put him? Which position group would you put him?
Go ahead, Ken.
I right off the bat, what's going to come to my mind is I'll go with two: wide receiver or defensive end. Right? I want somebody that's going to
another defensive end.
If you tell me they're going to be a Pro Bowler this coming year,
yeah, I like it. Hey,
absolutely, because I need consistency at rushing. Right?
Yeah,
we heard the talk for years of the 4 first-round draft picks. They're going to be a wrecking crew. Yeah. Inconsistent, right? Everybody had their moment here or there, but it was inconsistent. Give me a defensive end that can just, he requires a double team. Take the 3 or 4 that are the best every single year. Put one on Washington, either that or give me another wide receiver. And you match up with Terry and like, ooh, maybe do we have 2 number ones? Or do we have a 1 and 2? I mean, I would love to have that conversation. And based on of where we sit with this team and how it's built, those 2, I think, is where we would need to go. If you give me a magic wand and give me that.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, since Ken went defensive end and wide receiver, then I will simply go running back, that home run hitter. Maybe not Saquon Barkley, but some guy that really put the fear in offenses week in and week out. Or I would go probably linebacker. So when we watched the playoffs this past season, man, you saw elite linebacker play in those playoffs teams. And we saw what speed can do at the linebacker position, man, on defense. So I'd say linebacker and running back would be, if you give me a perennial Pro Bowl player that you can just plug in today, then I'm going to go those 2 positions, man.
I like it. For me, I think I will put I add a cornerback to the roster, right? You got Amos and you got this other Pro Bowl caliber player, right? I think I'll add those. I think you get that on this defense. I think this defense could be top 5, top 10 for sure.
So what you do with Sanders still at that point?
Right. I mean, like it's football. It's the NFL, right? Like ain't nobody locked in. You on your rookie deal, right? Like find a way to make it work, right? Make it work when you find it. So That's just what it is, right?
Yeah.
Like it happens all the time. Like Mikey has not done anything for me to say no, I'm not going to sign this player because I have Mikey signed still.
That's fair. That's fair.
And right now, the way our team is structured, we'll take a Pro Bowl player at any position.
Yeah, for sure.
To be honest, right?
Yeah, one. Yeah, I can see that.
We don't have very many dudes. Come on, man.
Nah, I ain't got too many. Y'all coming down? Y'all coming up? Y'all ain't coming up for training camp. I know y'all ain't. Oh, are you?
No.
Not training camp.
I know.
So some of your listeners don't realize, man, we're in Dallas. We are actually located in Dallas, man. So, yeah, I don't think
it's a big squad down there. Like, tell them about like you got if y'all in that area. Like y'all got the bar and the restaurant or whatever. Like y'all do every day for the last decade or so.
It's been what,
much longer.
Years?
I've been there for 25 years. It's in Plano, Texas, outside of just north of Dallas, at Austin Avenue. On good years, when we're making a playoff run, we got 100 and a quarter Washington fans. On bad years, on bad years, we got 25.
I'll tell you.
I know it was crazy that Detroit win. I know.
Man, during the playoff run, during that 2024, it was crazy, man. You couldn't even find a seat, standing room only kind deal. But I'll tell you a quick story before we get out of here, man. So one year, I guess it would have been 2024 maybe. So we're at the bar and everything, and they make the announcement that we had the parents of quarterback coach here. And of course, everyone's looking around like, why do we care about the quarterback coach family? It was his mom and dad here. And of course, they got a little bit of what I call the golf clap, and everything.
Polite.
Turns
out, man, that was David Blau's folks, right? That was at the bar, because they live here and everything. And they were at the bar and everything like that. And we get a couple of people, Anthony's come through. Anthony Armstrong has come through and things like that for the folks that live here in Dallas.
That's
and everything.
Cool,
but we have a good time, man. We have a good time. So if you guys are ever in Dallas during the football season, you want to come out and it's all Redskins, Commanders fans, Burgundy Gold. We got our own private room and everything, and we just have a good time in there.
For sure.
And I did see somebody in the comments. Yes, that is where Riri is.
This is Riri crew right here. This is her crew right here. This is how we were introduced to Reggie and Ken's through Riri, our girl Riri. Cal was good, Cal. All right, let everybody know how they can follow y'all, man.
Well, you guys can Google us anywhere on YouTube, man. The Burgundy Gold Knuckleheads podcast. You can just Google that. You'll find us. And we're always on Twitter. You guys can find us at the 2 Knuckleheads. That's DA, the number 2, and Knuckleheads. Just hit us up, man. We love to interact with folks, man. Have a good time. Do a little trolling, but it's all fun. It's all love.
All right, man. Listen, man. Appreciate y'all, man. We'll be touching back. Let me know what games y'all coming to this year. I know y'all try to get at least one or two, but let me know.
Yeah. We already got our tickets, so we're trying to figure out which games we're gonna attend, and then others will just be selling. So we'll see you guys out there.
Yep.
All right. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you, Deuce.
All right. All right, we got 2 more. We're bringing in 2 more to come. Oh, 3 more. We got. All right. So listen, this is how we're going to do this, right? I have 2 crash outs on the channel. Here's one.
I'm not a complete crash out.
You're really, like Tim is the worst, right? Like Tim is the worst. He can only come in every now and then. He'll start coming in more when training camp starts up. But Nick has a whole lot he got to get off his chest. So this is the only time during this whole Commanders content creator hell briefings that I'm just going to answer questions. Go ahead, Nick. This is your show.
Come on. You got to ask me something. But where do you want to start? There's so many. So I got a quick question for you. Do you know who does the depth charts for ESPN? Is it just Kime that just guesses of what the team's going to be? Because if you look at it, it's totally different than our unofficial, and you'd think they would keep it as that. But Luke's not even on our unofficial depth chart.
Yeah, the unofficial one is. I remember I remember Ron used to say, "Oh yeah, we don't even look at that," right? So that's probably some intern somewhere trying to do whatever that don't even watch football, right?
Yeah,
Our Lash is better. I like Our Lash. Like Our Lash is a little more reasonable.
Yeah, because I was just trying to pull up some things before we got talking, just to have some talking points about, wide receiver room and other parts of the team. And I was like, ESPN, I mean, I guess that it's kind of just guessing, because if you look at ours, I mean, Luke's not even, I'm guessing that's because he was on IR to finish the season. So he's not technically
It can't be
on
Cam,
the
though.
depth chart.
I doubt it. It's like, I think Cam is smarter than Cam is Cam. I don't think it's Cam.
Yeah, but it looks good on ESPN. Ours looks terrible on commanders.com, whatever it is, on whatever the NFL official one is. But yeah. I mean, where do you want to start? We can start the wide receiver room, which is what everyone's talking about.
Right there. Right there. So did you see the latest report from Fowler?
Is this the Diggs thing?
Yeah. About, we are in talks, but he's getting the sense that we're looking for a speed guy. So that's going to flip the fan base up the next few days. Who is the free agent speed guy?
Well, I also think Diggs wants too much. I wouldn't, because I think Spot Track has him valued at 13. I wouldn't be shocked if he's asking for $20 million, which
for sure.
For a 1-year deal, his last time to make some real money. Sure, I get it, but an AP has proven he's not going to pay that kind of money.
Yeah, he's not
going to an older player. So maybe it happens in like preseason or something if it shows that we need it. But I mean, what speed guys are out there? Tyreek Hill, but we don't know if he's healthy.
He might not even play.
Yeah. But that's what's also funny about our fan base. And I've got a bone to pick with. A lot of people are going to be mad with me after this, I'm sure. Just with what I've been saying, because with Ayuk, and I know everybody's talked about it, is
Cal said it's Matt Miller.
Matt Miller. Oh, well. Okay.
Hold on a second. Wait a second.
No. Okay, because
what?
How's he? Okay, well, that would explain a lot.
I'm not fooling with you, Cal. Go ahead, Nick. I'm not fooling with Cal.
That would explain a lot.
Jesus Christ.
But Ayuk people don't want, because he's immature, he's this, he's that. But they want to bring in guys. I've seen Hill and Diggs names thrown around who have allegedly committed a lot of crimes, and not like great crimes, whether it's child, domestic violence, you name it. They've allegedly done that. Whereas Ayuk's only crime is being immature and not being good in a car, and that just goes back to immaturity. I don't want him because I think his knee's gone, and people keep saying, "Well, he looks healthy in tape." Looking healthy, kicking a soccer ball versus making a cross, against Cooper or Mitchell or any of those guys is a little different on the football field. There's football healthy, and then there's just healthy. That's why I kind of want to stay with him, because the immaturity, and then he comes in, he gets hurt, and then it's just like, great, why do we do all this? But if they think he's healthy, bring in Ayuk, no matter what the other nonsense is, if he can actually grow up and go into the facility, get reinstated, and just be like, okay, just hire an attorney. You don't even need an agent at this point. Get an attorney on retainer, get your stuff figured out, and he'll help you with the NFL and be done with it.
For sure.
But as I said, I guess this was last week. I can't remember who the guest was that you had on, but I was like, if we have a top 12 receiving core, I think we're fine. If everybody's healthy, and that means if Terry's healthy.
For sure.
Because I keep seeing that Jaden needs his number 2 receiver. Does he? I mean, it'd be nice. It's a great commodity to have, but look at 2023 Dak Prescott. He should have won the MVP that year, but they gave it to Lamar for whatever reason. Look at who his receivers were. His number 1 was obviously CeeDee Lamb, but then it's Jake Ferguson at number 2. I don't even think he's on the team anymore. Michael Gallup was his number 2 receiver. I think the third or fourth receiver was.
Yeah, I think Jake is still there, the tight end, right? Yeah, I think he's still there.
Is it? Oh yeah, no. What's his name? Went to the Texans. The other didn't he go to the Texans? Ferguson?
Oh yeah, Noah Brown.
No, tight end.
Noah Brown was there 23, I think, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, and then it was Michael Gallup.
Yeah.
And Tony Pollard was like, those were their top 4 receivers.
Oh my God.
So
I just called him Conor McGregor. And that's the thing though, like, because when you look at the rest of the teams, Like, because when Diggs made that point, and I haven't done it, I really like Nick. I really want to
about him being the number two receiver.
Yeah, and he got a
He's
great point. Like, I'm just saying, like, just based off of what he showed us last year, like what he did yesterday. Even though, like, and you can go to Drake May, you can go to the offensive play calling, you can go to how that defense smothered Drake May, why he wasn't as efficient in the Super Bowl and in the conference championship game, but still, like. He missed like 5 games, still had 1,000 plus. He still had great separation. He still like the route run, like all of those things was still good. So like he has a case, like he can say that just based off of production. Because one thing I know about Diggs, knowing him for as long as I have, the outside stuff is always going to be there, but it doesn't affect him on the field. Like it never affect his work ethic. Like you see him out there, like that's just who he is, right? So I think like he has a case. But what I really want to do, but I don't think I'm going to have time to do it, is actually look at every other wide receiver room in the league, right? Because I think we focused on our team, and some of us, like I dibble and dab in a lot of other NFL teams. And I know all the rosters are not that much better than ours, especially when you look at from like 1 to 6. There's all a bunch of hopes and what ifs on these rosters too, and the wide receiver room specifically.
Agreed. And then you look at other teams who have great wide receiver rooms and they suck in other departments. Look at the Bengals. Yeah, that's who I'm thinking of. Yeah. And look at the Bengals. You got T. Higgins, you got Jamar Chase, and a bunch of very good other receivers and tight ends, quite frankly. But they're not threatening anyone. They got no defense. The offensive line is whatever. And yes, they improved in some areas, but I don't think they're scaring anyone again on the defensive side of things. Granted, they're in a harder division, but I don't think it's much harder than ours. And there's other teams that have similar things where, yes, they got it. Look at the Eagles last year. Stacked, but they couldn't figure it out. And I just see we got to get Jaden another. Well, how about Jaden's got to play like the top 5 QB he was? It's year 3. We don't need him being Stroud. We don't need him having a Stroud type regression where it was great rookie year, kind of fell off, and then really fell off his 3rd year. He needs to play like a top 5, top 10 quarterback. And I know people are like, well, we can't put it all on him. Why not? Is what I got to say to that. I know he's not Tom Brady yet, but he's an older quarterback. He was 5 years in college. He was a Heisman winner his final year.
25 right now.
Yeah. That's
I think the thing is like when you look at the Brady's, like he had a great defense, great running game, right? He had a great slot receiver, and he had like arguably the best tight end ever, right?
For the second half.
The second half, right? So like I mean, even those times he had Aaron Hernandez. Before that, he had Moss for a year. Yeah. So like. The thing is that when we want Jaden to take these 2nd, 3rd floor guys and win with them, it's fine during a regular season, right? Like you can win with 5th and 6th floor guys in a regular, but when you get to the playoffs, right? Can these guys do more for themselves? Because only talent can raise ceilings. Jaden can raise floors. He can't raise them that high, but he can raise floors. They have to raise. Can they get there? Because we saw what happened when those same guys from 2024 we always talk about that Jaden did this and did this with. When it came time, they all failed him because their talent, they just was not good enough. And he didn't have the defense for it. That's going to be the key for Jaden to really lead this team is if the defense, tell me a time when the defense, when we left a game that we won or lost, and we said, man, the defense did their job.
I mean, the only one that I could think of would be the Lions game.
And even the Lions,
but even then, they fell apart in the 4th quarter. And thank God.
And if he would have kept giving the ball to Jahmyr Gibbs, we would have been in trouble.
Thank
he
you,
stopped
Ben Johnson.
giving him the ball.
Yeah.
Right.
Agreed. And that was going to be my point. And I have it written down. The 2 things that are going to, it's not wide receiver or even tight end that are going to make Jaden successful. It's going to be offensive line. Can they stay healthy? And the defense. Can the defense actually get stops? Is it not just going to be Bobby out there who just is a statue every time it's just everybody was a target last year on defense. Even 2024, we just knew that we were going to have to put up 30. How many one-score games were we in? 7 or 8?
Yeah.
And a lot of that was the defense just allowing teams back in the Bears game that we should have won that game by 2 touchdowns. And granted, the offense didn't play great, but the defense couldn't get a stop at the end of the game. That I agree that Jaden can't be Jaden, but on offense, Jaden has to be Jaden. And he was not a good. People are mad at this list that came out about top 10 QBs, and there's things to be mad at. Jaden not being top 10 doesn't piss me off. It should piss him off. I'd have that on my refrigerator for the rest of the season. But as a fan, you can't look at how he played last year. And yes, I know the talent was terrible a lot of the time of the season, but he did a lot of not great. I'm not going to say terrible things, but he wasn't a good QB at times. Like he wasn't doing his reads. And I get it. He was probably second guessing going, who am I throwing the ball to? But even running, he would second guess himself a lot of the times. Like he would take the wrong cut.
Because it's like when you have no help around you, like you're thinking about, I'm trying to get to the next play. I know we're going to lose if I'm not out there. I got to think smart. I got to be smart because it's just me. Like, and the defense is not going to help you. Right. So it was a lot, but even a lot, his percentage, a lot of that stuff. But even I went back and I looked, Nick, I don't know if you saw, I did a cut up with his true numbers from last year when he was on the field, and they were pretty good. And even though a lot of the numbers were lower than the year before, but even when you think about this list, the thing that was interesting to me is that one of the executive coaches, or whichever one of those people had with the blurb in there, was even still him where he is when it comes to that 2024 class, I am still taking Jaden Daniels. Like, so to me,
the other guys, other four,
that was just when they talked about the honorable mention, when they talked about Jaden Daniels, they said even still, I'm taking him over the other 2024 quarterbacks. That right there tells me that person that right there tells me that, oh yeah, he's absolutely top 10 in their eyes, right? Because they're saying the reason why they're not putting the ink there is because of the injured year last year. And the doubt in their mind that he's going to be able to play 17 games.
Well, I hope he only plays 16 and he's sitting week 18. That's the only game I want to see Marcus Mariota. Are we going to get that? Unlikely. But if I see Marcus 2 times this year, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I need Jaden to play like Jaden. Let the defense be a problem if it's a problem. And okay, we lost. But this year I need to see that there's no issues. And I think I give AP a lot of crap, but I think if you look at the wide receiver room this year and you did last year, it's average this year. It was hell. The fact that Chris Moore made the final roster going into week 1 tells you all you need to know. That's not happening this year.
I mean,
Van Jefferson is 20 times better than Chris Moore is.
I have a theory. I think that Mariota was hurt all last year.
I think it showed a lot.
Right, like Jaden, and I'm talking about training camp. Right,
yeah,
he didn't play preseason. Like they want to put a lot of pressure on Jaden. Whatever. Do you think that these wide receivers that we looked at, that they looked at these wide receivers like they did last year because they were running the routes, summertime, looking good, running the routes, and they really didn't have opportunities to catch the football because Sam Hartman was throwing ducks?
I think they didn't have an opportunity to catch football because they couldn't catch a football.
Yeah.
But I mean,
and I'm only saying that, Nick, because I think that the Manis thing, like we talk about the Paramanis thing, right? That's what I'm calling them, right? I know that they knew that they needed a quarterback, right? And I think they took him in the 7th because they didn't want to bid on him. They didn't want to do the bit. Let's just take them with the 7th pick, because we see right after the draft about 4 or 5 quarterbacks were signed to rosters, undrafted free agents, right? I do not need to see Sam Hartman at all.
Well, If you go to the ESPN, funnily enough, they have him as the number 4 QB right now, which I think is just obvious.
Yeah, I mean, he's there because we only have 4 quarterbacks.
I won't be surprised if he gets brought in as like an assistant coach or something like that, just so he can be in Jaden ears. Yeah.
Listen, I do not need to see him. I want Manners playing 3 quarters every single week, every preseason game. I do not need to see Sam.
But I think you
because
will.
The thing is that like, yeah, more than likely, right? But like, if the competition in the wide receiver room is so great, right, then we need someone to give these guys a shot, right? Like, I'm not saying that Manners is this great quarterback, but he's way better than Sam Hartman. Sam Hartman was not even good at Notre Dame. Let's be honest, right? He wasn't that good.
He was a good college QB. He did what you needed him to do and didn't make that many mistakes. But he wasn't going to win you football games.
He was like J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah,
J.J. McCarthy was way better than him, right? So like,
I don't know about that. J.J. had a better arm, and that was it.
Yeah, but when you see it in the preseason and you watch him in the preseason, some guys just cannot cut it. And Sam Hartman, to me, he just cannot cut it.
I think I could have gone out there and thrown some of those balls that he did. I think a lot of the people
a lot of people say, "Oh well, he was injured with John." They went out and get bro. They ain't want him out there throwing ducks to people.
Well, they're idiots because we needed that 4th, 5th round pick. I don't know why we didn't have him out there. We should have been out just going full tank mode.
That's a whole nother story. But a report did come out about Keenan Allen. They were saying he really he's waiting to go back to the Chargers though. So we'll see.
And Keenan, guys like Debo, and you see reports like this, and even Diggs, a lot of those guys won't sign until like the veterans report for camp and everything. Like once you get like into, they don't like sign before camp. It's just for whatever reason, that's just the way it is. Unless there's like a bidding war. But yeah, I agree. I don't need to see Hartman anymore. The wide receiver room is just interesting to me because if Terry's healthy, we're fine. If he's not healthy, we're in trouble. Unless Burks turns into a first round title.
If he go out there and light it up, I'm gonna be so mad at him, bro.
No, he's not going to. I mean, he might in like the 4th quarter against a bad defense. I'd have to look at who we're playing this year.
But that's all you need in our fan base. That's all you need.
Our fan base is just we love falling in love with guys. And I guess that's how it's been for like the past 30 years of no successes. We love just loving guys, even if they're terrible, and we'll defend them to the bitter end. It's like De'Ami Brown. The De'Ami Brown fan club, people keep falling for it. He's posting these YouTube things, and it's like, oh, De'Ami looks great. I'm like, oh, good. He's going to go get 300 yards again. He'll have like one good game, and people be like, I told you so. But I'm not scared of our wide receiver room if Terry is healthy, or if Burks, turns into a first-round talent. I think it's there. I think we've seen it. If he could get healthy, and he's had a full offseason with the team now, I am not unhappy with him as our number 2, number 3 receiver right now between him and the rookie. I'm not a fan of the rookie, but I don't think if he can be like an 80% of what Terry was his rookie year, I think we're in good shape. Because Chig, I think, will be a great pass catcher. He's not a wide receiver, but he can get open and he can make plays happen on the offensive side of things, which I think is going to be huge. He's like I think he'll be like Zach Ertz, but mobile. Like he can actually like move after catching the ball. He won't just fall over. And the running backs are the running backs. I think White is a okay starting running back. Allows Bill to develop more. If he can hold on. Bill's biggest issue is pass blocking and holding on to the football. If he can do that this year, I think he can be a solid running back going forward. But I think we're just doing running back by committee again, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
If we do it correctly. But again, it comes down to the defense. At the end of the day, it comes down to the defense. We beat the Eagles, well, if we don't fumble the ball 5 times, but if we have a solid defense in that playoff run, I think we're in the Super Bowl. If we had if we had a top 10, top 15 defense, we'd be, I think, having a whole different tune.
All right, Nick, appreciate it. Just FYI, so y'all know, starting in a few weeks, Nick and I is going to do about 10 15-minute videos on games of the month, right?
Yeah, we can do that.
Right? No, ain't no we can do it. I got the evidence right here.
I'm down. I've been doing it for like all summer because I'm just depressed. I'm like, oh my god, I need football back. It's getting to that point of the year where I'm watching RG tapes, highlights from his rookie season.
Oh man, so we got to work that out to see what that's going to. I want to kind of incorporate it into previewing each game next year, because I'm going to have guests from other teams, even some beat writers from the other teams, some content creators, something like that, as we do every year going into the regular season. So we're going to incorporate this. Also, Steven Montez. Okay, I'm gonna get your story. I'm gonna get to Caleb. Caleb is in the building. Nick, I'm gonna get your story. In Richmond, I think it was the last year in Richmond for training camp. I think it was the last year. I was on the, you come down the hill. This is all hill. I hated Richmond. Like the hills, I hated Richmond. But like the players that come over to the gate or whatever, Steven Montez begins to walk over to us. And I knew right then and there he was going to be a horrible quarterback just by the way he walked. Bro, I was like, oh yeah, he's not going to make it. But shout out to him. He got a ring, though. Shout out to him. He got a ring.
Oh, Mac Brown. That is a blast from the past. I thought he was going to be a starting running back in the league. Didn't he put up like 300 yards against the Browns or something in preseason?
Yeah, if y'all was around for the Spurrier, like if you wasn't even around for the Spurrier preseason, then like you don't really know what depression is.
I mean, it's just been
around for Spurrier.
It's been depression for a long time. Let's be real. We've had like a few peaks, but that's been about it.
Yeah, man. But all right, Nick, man, appreciate you, man. Appreciate all your support. You know what it is, and we definitely gonna talk on the back channel to try to get this thing going, rocking and rolling. Appreciate you,
just
man.
let me know. All right, thanks for having me on. Peace.
For sure. All right. If y'all want to know why I, troll so much and I get caught up in so much stuff on the timeline, it's because this guy right here. I'll get a DM or a text. Hey, look at this. Look what he said. Look at this. Look what they said. Caleb, what's good, man?
What's good?
Welcome back to the city,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How I feel being back home, man?
Hey, man, I tell you one thing I forgot. All this traffic reminded me of how bad this traffic can be, especially when you get off work. But when you start seeing stuff, sometimes it brings back memories. I stopped by the old house on my way up here. I was like, dang, look at my old house. Everything around it was like, yeah, some stuff has changed, some stuff has stayed the same, but I'm here to progress and get better in my career and just grow in that. So
that's what it's about.
Yes, sir.
That's what it's about. All right, man. Let's talk about this team a little bit. Where do you want to start, man?
Start with the offseason, free agency.
I mean, like, I think it was a pretty good free agency, right?
I agree.
But I do want to. Okay, I got two for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would you have done? And what I mean, would you have done? Let's say, like, they tried to. Would you have paid an extra $2 million, right? And on the other side, what wouldn't you have done that they did? Like, would you have brought in this player with what they did? Like, two things. What would you have done more to get what you missed? And what would you have done less to get what you actually got?
Good question. And this is just free agency, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
You can do draft too. You can bundle them up.
Okay. So I would say in free agency, I'm gonna start off with what I like with what they did first, just to get me warmed up, just to get the brain wave flowing. I love what they did defensively. They gave us some juice on the front seven. They gave us some juice on the edge, some depth on the interior. Now the secondary is still a little shaky, but you solidify your box safety or your big nickel with Nick Cross, and I love that signing. That's a good sign. What's up, Smoke? That's a good signing to me. Adding Calavion Chason, that's some good rotate. That's a good rotational piece for the edge room. Um, I will say Odafe Owe. That's you giving him some. You giving him some money. I would say that. You
Yeah,
giving him
$100
some
million
money.
man.
Yeah, you give him some money. So you saw what he did in the playoffs. And if he can be that for us, a playoff riser, because I believe we do have the chance to get to the playoffs, but a lot comes down with that. But we're gonna talk about that later. But if Odafe Owe can do what he did in the playoffs for us, that's a solid signing. I do like the Leo Chanel pick. That when they picked him up in free agency, that may be my favorite signing, just because of what he provides in the run game and in the pass game. You just get super athletic up front, front four, and the linebacker room. We may have maybe a hot take, maybe a crazy take, but we may have the most athletic linebacker room in our division. We may just
From top to bottom.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Because Jordan McGee's athletic, Sonny Styles,
Madrano.
K. Madrano, Sonny Styles
Yeah.
is athletic, Leo Chanel is athletic. He's arguably, if not the strongest linebacker in the NFL. I've literally seen the Chiefs go from a 3-down lineman set. They shift, and Leo Chanel is taking on the guard by himself. Now, I'm not saying he's going to do that every single time, but he can definitely do that. I've seen him stand his ground, anchor, shed against good guards. I've seen him do it against Quentin Nelson. They got clips of that. Pass coverage, he's solid in that. But that's why you got Sonny Styles for, and that's what you got Nick Cross for, to cover in that short intermediate range. But Sonny Styles, we're going to see what he can do. He can also cover that a little bit of that deep range too, because he has the athleticism, he has the hips to flip and run with the receiver or the tight end. Now offensively,
Oh my gosh, Kim, this is nasty.
no, Kim, no, not this time. But
hold on, let's stay with defense, because I do have a question, right? Because all of our the only true safety on this team is Percy Butler, right? And we know he's not getting no burn, right?
Yeah.
All the other guys at their best is when they're closer to the line of scrimmage, because they all have their weaknesses is coverage. In a sense, right? Like even when we talk about Will Harris, the idea of Will Harris, but what he showed us, like that Green Bay game, he was kind of getting the smoke, right? But he did play well that first game, and then he ended up getting injured, blah, 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 right? So I think the question is going to be, because usually if Durante is going to bring that part of the scheme over, they're going to do 2 high safeties and they're going to rotate, right? So they're kind of going to be interchangeable, right? So I wonder, and they ran a lot of 3 safety looks also in Minnesota. So I asked you, who are the 3 safeties that you are putting on the field when they go 3 safety? And who do you think you have more confidence in protecting the end zone?
3 safeties, probably Nick Cross, Will Harris, and it'll probably have to be Quan Martin. And I saw that face. I saw that face.
But I think, but even, but it doesn't, like, this is the thing, right? Like, I know it'll look like a 3 safety look, but you can disguise it, right? Like, it doesn't have to be a S, right? It could be a cornerback that you can give to disguise that look, right? So it's going to be very interesting, because you want to put your best 7 on the field, right? Or your best 5, right? If you're going to go 3 safeties, 2 corners, you want to put your best 5 out there, right? And who is your best 5? Like, who can play this position, this, and that? But usually when you see 3 safeties, there's a big nickel that's playing close to the line of scrimmage, right? And I think all of those guys can play that position well. But I don't know what you're going to do with Quan, right? Because he's been doing this other thing for the last few years, and I don't know what Durante is going to do because now he got to break that out of him, put him like this is one of the most interesting things I'm waiting to see out the gate in the preseason, right? To see where he has these guys lined up.
Agreed.
And yeah, Jeremy Reeves is absolutely probably battling Quan Martin, and that's a really bad battle right there.
It is. One thing Reeves does do well is, I mean, he'll come up and attack, but
I love to see him in the blitz packages, bro.
Yeah, and he has that special teams background, so he can understand snap counts and stuff like that. But just like I mentioned before, the secondary and that safety position.
Look at Smoke changing his logo. Look at Smoke changing his logo. Look at that. I don't see Duke up there. Where Duke at? And Notre Dame.
Ain't up there. He just got all.
I don't see Duke and Notre Dame in that logo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know.
But you are correct. Them rotating, because who knows? I don't know what they're going to do, but Mikey could rotate to that deep safety spot too, in certain packages, of course, because you add the corner we just added. I can't even name him right now. Rasul Douglas. You get Rasul Douglas. He's an outside corner. He had a solid year, and then you still got Mikey, and you still got Amik Robertson too, but he can play nickel. He plays some outside, so I think that's the beautiful thing about this offseason, Deuce, is that we don't know what's going to happen, in my opinion, as far as what the coaches are going to call, what they're going to run. We have an idea of what they're going to run, but how they game plan each week, how they adjust, I think that's going to be something that has to happen for this team to be successful week in and week out. Because they're going to be calling plays for the coach for the first time, so they're going to have to adjust on the fly. So this is going to be something new for them and just for the fans too.
And think about it, like every cornerback that's not good at playing cornerback doesn't mean they can automatically play safety, right? Like we know that. Like
yeah,
you have to think about why were they not good at cornerback, right? Mm-hmm. There has to be reasons. Mikey in the slot, like that experiment should be over, because I have not seen him look good there at all. At least that outside cornerback, we've seen him make plays, we've seen him look better, even though he's not anywhere near somewhere. Like we was talking to, because I was on the Knuckleheads, I asked them if you had a Pro Bowl player in the palm of your hand, if you had a Pro Bowl ticket and you could put this Pro Bowl ticket at any position group, where would you put it? And I said, I would put it at a cornerback. Mm-hmm. They was like, oh, what about Mikey? Mikey, I cannot say I'm not going to bring in this guy because I have Mikey Sanderson.
Agreed. Does any of these corners stop you from getting another one that you may think can be, like you said, a Pro Bowl corner? None of these guys do. None of them do. It's the same thing with the receiver room, probably, other than Terry. But Father Time is going to catch up at some point. So you're going to need to address that position. And it can be said about safety. It can be said about the defensive tackle position. It can be said about a lot. Like, we just need to collect talent. That's really what it is. And that's with the draft and free agency. But they got some talent in the free agency. I will say that. We
got a lot of depth too. Like the depth is so much better. The depth is good on both sides of the football. So that's really not but it's just that the players at the top of the depth chart, like right. The edge room and the D line, like that's the deepest position group. Like most of those guys can play all over. A lot of them can. Like on like Settle, he can play the 3, he can play the 0. Like even Settle, right? He can do multiple things. We know Payne and Newton, if they need to play that 4-5 tech end, they can do it, right? We know they can play the 3 tech. So it's so much. And it's not about position. I hate position flex, right? Yeah. It's versatility because these guys can play at a high level or semi-high level at different positions. Like that's the difference in and position flex. But when it comes to, I think, rushing the passer, how do you think, just knowing Flores' defense and just thinking of what Durante will bring over, how important do you think getting to the cornerback, or is he going to use? He's going to blitz more. He's going to just use, hey, where you paying you $100 million? Chase only paying you 15, like et cetera, et cetera. How do you think he's going to load up as far as on the defensive side to get pressure on the quarterback?
Well, he did say in his press interview that he's going to be multiple. So there's no base defense. Sure. It depends on the matchup, depends on the drive, it depends on the quarter, it depends on just the time of the season too, believe it or not. So
yeah,
I think I would want us to blitz more. I think that'll help out the corner room. I've been wanting this team to blitz a little bit more, and they got the horses to do it. They do.
Right.
They got the horses to do it. And even some of the corners can blitz as well. Some of the DBs we have can blitz too as well. So it's all about Durante teaching these guys where to be in certain spots, what your responsibility is. And I've mentioned this on X too as well. One thing I love about Durante and also Blau, but focusing on Durante, is that he's a teacher. He's taught at every level of football when it comes to high school, overseas, college. He's coached at almost every level of football.
I didn't even realize, he's almost 50, bro, and he's just getting this opportunity. That's crazy.
But he's coached at every level. So he's come across guys that don't get it, but he tries to help them understand. Or he comes across guys that just get it instantly and he don't got to worry about them. Now he can put extra effort into somebody else and he can raise the floor of their play. So I believe he's a teacher. Now, as a play caller, we don't know. But I think he is a teacher. So blitzing, there's so many different variations and combinations. Joshua Josephs, you can put him out there. Chase Song, you can put him out there. You can blitz Sonny, you can blitz Leo, you can blitz McGee, and then you got Frankie Louvu, and then you got
it's
so many combinations, man.
So I think like the expiring contract thing is interesting, right? Because if anything, you're going to get the most out of a player that's on a contract year, right? Especially those that believe that they can get, like, they got another contract in them, right? Or if they don't, they think they're going to be 1 years for the rest of their career. They want to be high end 1 years, right? Like getting signed, third wave of free agents for $8-10 million, something like that. So these guys, they're going to give you everything that they have. They're going to give you everything that they have. So it's like two things to it. What do you like? Let's just say, Louvu is having because I think all of this changes the closer you get to the trade deadline. Like if we 2-3 games below 500, it might be a fire sale with those guys on contract years or whatever, right? If you can get something. But if you're hovering around 500 on a move or whatever, you think you're gonna make it to playoffs, I don't think that's gonna be the case. But a lot of times when you have these hungry guys that's looking, like we always talk about contract pain, but you got a lot of those guys on this roster that's going into the last year of their deal, and they're going to give you everything that they have. They're not going to sit for little small injuries. They're going to play through it. They're going to give you everything they have because this is their career on the line. Like they trying to get another bag, or they trying to, even these rookies on there coming off of their rookie deals, they trying to get another multi-year deal. Right? You don't want to come out of your rookie deal getting 1 year deals. Like that's not what you want.
Yeah,
right. So those guys is going to play to their highest capabilities that they possibly can. I like having 1 year deals and contract. I don't want it across the whole roster, but in spots, I want to have those type of guys on the team.
Yeah. And I think the way they drafted this year, it kind of solidifies what we're going to see for some of these guys that have expiring contracts. Like, is Quan going to come back? We don't know. It probably won't come back, but
but you never know. Durante might do something with him that we ain't never seen before.
May. May.
I just want to let y'all know, like I'm not in my studio. I'm in a different place, and the camera that's here, I don't even know what they call it, like the focus, like wherever I go,
Oh yeah,
it adjusts to it.
it adjusts.
Right.
Yeah.
So and you know I like moving, so I'm trying to, because I don't
Yeah.
want people that got motion sickness. I'm trying to stay as still as I possibly can. But if I move back, it adjusts. If I come up, make my face real big, then it's set. It's
Yeah.
annoying. It's annoying.
Yeah, I feel you.
But yeah, I'm like, what's up, Utah? I'm like, I really wanted it. The on paper, it has been what I wanted from this team from a long time, bro. Like, I want athletic guys that can fly, that's not afraid, that can tackle, that can lay that wood, that can cover out of the back. So that's just gonna communication. I like a whole lot of pre-snap movement on defense. I like that. And being able to have athletic guys, you can do that, right? Because these guys can get to spots very fast from wherever on the field. I am very excited about what this defense is on paper. I just need to see it on the field, man.
Agreed. Like they got I like the front seven. The front seven has drastically improved.
Drastically, yep.
it drastically improved. Like,
yep.
There was I think Nikki Zavala said it on her podcast with John Keim, is their snap to tackle rate for the Commanders defense was like 5 seconds or something like that. That's like the slowest in the league this past year. Like that. And you can see it on game days. Like they were just slow.
Bro,
like,
the next gen stats for our defense is horrible. Every metric you look at is horrible, bro.
It was just slow. And that's due to some of the players not being good enough, and that's due to Joe No Wits. But like I said before, man, they did have a facelift to this defense. And hopefully Trey Amos can come back and he can play at a solid level.
I hope so, man.
Yeah, because if he can be a solid corner for us, even if he's an above average corner, that helps. And then you can go in free agency or the draft and you can get another one. So I think on defense they had a massive improvement.
All right, let's flip to the offense a little bit. When it comes to the offensive line, of course, it's nationally they're not as high on us as we are locally, and I can let's talk about why, right? Let's start with Connolly, and not saying that I agree with this, but I understand why they are low.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with Connolly. Started off slow, very slow, right?
Very slow, very bad.
But one thing about him is that even when he was starting slow, he was getting better every week, right? Throughout the rest of the year, he was getting better. Through OTAs, minicamp, you can tell he's better, right? He's starting to come into himself. He's starting to look like a grown football player, a grown man football player. And I think he's going to continue to ascend, but still the numbers, you can't just dismiss the beginning of the year, right? So when you look at everything accumulated, you say, all right, this is what he is. When it comes to right guard, Sam Cobbs, he's just haven't, even before the ACL injury, he ain't looked like how he looked in the past, right? So when he came back last year, it took him a little while to get back, kind of settle in. He still just wasn't looking what we saw, right? And that's the thing, is that can he get back to that Pro Bowl caliber guard? It's an if. Allegretti just happened to fall into that position because whatever they was thinking with Biotis, even Biotis, right? However that was looking, so now Allegretti fell into that role. Listen, they didn't release Allegretti because they wanted you to be the starting center. That's not what this is. And I'm not saying he's going to be horrible, right? He has the experience. He has Super Bowl experience. He has playoff experience. But he's not somebody that's going to move people out the way, right? Mm-hmm. And then you got left guard, which you don't know what's going to happen. Chris Paul thought he had a multi-year contract season, and obviously he didn't, right? He wasn't that good in run blocking, right? He was better in pass pro. And you got Coleman, like who knows what they're going to do with him this year, right? So that's going to be a battle. And then the only sure thing that you have on that offensive line is Tunsil. Mm-hmm. So when you look at it and when you look at it similar to that, because this is how I think that the national folks is looking at you, like, all right, yeah, this is absolutely not a top 20 offensive line.
Yeah, I think when when they're at their best, I think when you have an idea of what they could be, they have the potential to be a top 15 offensive line. But like you said, Laramie Tunsil's the surest thing. Center's unknown. Left guard is unknown. I have confidence in Sam Cosmi. Even 2 years ago, especially 2024, 2023, even though we were really bad in 2023, he was really good. Athletic, he can get to the second level. Excuse me for saying this, dudes, but he was a dickhead in the run game. That's literally what he was. He would pancake people, lay on them a little bit, and then get up to let the defensive lineman know, yeah, like I just punked you. Like that's what I just did. And some of those guys would get frustrated when you look at the tape. If he can come back to who he was, that right side, I think is going to be good for the future. Center, Nick Allegretti starting. For my preference, I really don't want that. I want a natural center playing that position. But you drafted Matt Golban, and when you look at his tape, who I hope they give him more snaps to and give him an opportunity, he's an anchor when it comes to pass protection, in my opinion. He doesn't get, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, he doesn't get pushed back too much. Now, Golban. He
was very effective. And I don't know Nick is still here. Nick can talk more about Goblin, but he still needs time though.
And
right?
You got to understand.
He still needs time. But the thing that I question is, what's that gap of time between him and somebody like Allegretti? Is the question. I don't know.
I think the only gap is, I think they're both talented. I mean, you got to be talented if you're in the NFL. You got there for a reason. But I think the biggest difference is just experience, like understanding what defensive linemen are trying to do. Golban he has no experience in that. Now, there's some guys that come straight out the gate at the center position, like a Creed Humphrey or even a Tyler Linderbaum. Some of those guys, they come out and they play well, or even a Jackson Powers Johnson who's with the Raiders, where he switched from center to guard because they needed that help at guard badly. Some guys got it. Some guys, it may take them a little bit more time. So then when you look at the left guard position, like you said before, Chris Paul's an anchor in the passing game, but he's not, even though he lost weight, which he did, he lost weight, he's still not that athletic. He's really an anchor when it comes to pass protection. He doesn't get bullied in pass protection. Coleman, when you think of what he could be, it's very intriguing because he's athletic too. We know AP like the RAS scores. Coleman has long arms, big hands, and he can get to the second level. But
I'm gonna do this for the last 30. Kev, you ain't got nothing to do you?
No, not really.
And the point about Allegretti, when Biadasz went down, he didn't do really bad, but you can tell the offense wasn't the same, right? Like Biadasz is more of he controls the offensive line. Like they moved in unison when he was out. Like it looked better as a collective. Biadasz just looked maybe okay individually, but you can tell it wasn't the same when Biadasz was like, oh man, Eric Flowers, I don't know what happened to that guy. Did they ever say whatever happened to him?
I don't know. I just think he just fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah, now it's a party.
What's up,
yeah, bro? Now it's a party. Cash was good, man.
What's up, dudes? What's up, Caleb?
Good, man.
How you feeling, man?
I'm all right, bro. I'm all right. I'm waiting on this Brandon Ayuk news to drop, man.
You still waiting to Brandon Ayuk? I want to talk about the quarterbacks.
Hey,
I want to talk about the quarterback list. Yeah, what's up, Caleb?
Dudes, I don't know if you saw this. Jeremy Fowles on NFL Live. He said 5 teams checked on.
About Diggs. Yeah.
But he said we want a speedy receiver.
Yeah, so that's gonna intrigue the timeline for the next few days. I don't even know who the speed receivers available are, but that could mean anything. They could mean they could be looking on the trade market. They could be waiting for IU. Like who knows? And I guess Cash, that's what you mean by you're waiting on IU. Is IU that speed guy that Jeremy Fowler was talking about?
I don't think he's necessarily that speed guy, but I also don't think he's the slowest side of the pack either. Like I was watching the show earlier, and they made a good point talking about Tyreek Hill. I wouldn't take a flyer on Tyreek. I think that needs done. Like that was a gruesome injury, and at his age, coming back from stuff like that, I just don't think he's going to be anywhere near the same player. His biggest attribute was his speed, right? So when you take that away from a guy who the thing that made him separate from the rest of the pack was his ability to get in the backfield and behind the DBs. If he loses that, right, now he has to turn and become excellent at something else. And I just don't know at this point in his career if he can do that because we've yet to see it.
Yeah, I don't even know if Tyreek Hill plays next year.
Yeah, he might not.
The way talk about that, right? Like I don't even know, but we'll see. He has no reason not to put out workout tapes. I haven't seen one yet, right? So it's not like IU situation where he don't want nobody to see him, because he don't want nobody to try to sneak and trade for him or whatever, or want him outside of us. I get that, but I haven't seen nothing from Tyreek Hill, right? So, and then you think about Keenan Allen, that's out there. Reports is like he just waiting to go back to the Chargers, but he don't need to do the mini camp and all that other stuff. So that's gonna be interesting to see. So, Cash, I'm talking about this this quarterback list. Who are you taking out to put Jaden in the top 10?
Number 10, Caleb Williams. Listen, like I understand. Like I think this list is based off. So I think this is based off of last year, and less about like overall rankings. Because I mean, Caleb Williams in 2024 was terrible, right? So I don't see how he has that kind of year, and then you place him right in the top 10 just because you won a playoff game, right? And mind you, they hadn't scored a point through 3.5 quarters. So I mean, I would take out Caleb Williams. I also saw who else was in there. Drake May was like top 7. I don't agree with that either. I don't think Drake May's a top 7 quarterback, top 8 quarterback. Yeah, I'm probably taking out Caleb, man. I feel like even Jaden last year before he got hurt, his numbers weren't awful, right? Like he had games and he had moments where he wasn't that good, and you can clearly tell the injuries were starting to catch up with him. Like starting in the Green Bay game, right? The ball seemed flat. A lot of us complained that a lot of balls weren't getting to the wide receivers enough. You could just tell it was a distinct difference from week 1 against New York. Like in New York, he was making phenomenal reads, phenomenal passes, and then he gets hurt, and it's just a vast difference. So, I would take out Caleb. I don't think Caleb had a great year. I think he just kind of kept his head above the water, and ultimately, I think they put him in the top 10 because of that playoff win.
It's funny about Caleb Dees when you look at the numbers, especially from his rookie year to this year. His completion percentage has went down.
Yep.
62 his rookie year, 58 this year, and in the playoffs it was worse than 58. I think it was 54. So it's gotten worse. Yeah, that's crazy. It's gotten worse, but he has better passing yards, and he has 7 more touchdowns and less picks. And he got sacked less. No, he had that same amount of picks. Rookie year was 6 picks. Sophomore year was 7 picks. But he did take less sacks too this past year. And you can also just see with your own eyes. I think the reason why he's so high is because of those last minute touchdown throws that he had. I think he had 11 of them this year.
Yeah.
He had some type of.
You can't take that away from him.
He had some type of crazy stat whereas he led the whole NFL in last minute touchdowns in the fourth quarter or something crazy like that. But Justin Herbert is on there, even though he had a solid year, but he ain't. He's
a volume guy. That's why I like the insert from one. I don't know. I don't think they mentioned who said it. But they mentioned that even still, right out of that 2024 class, I'm taking Jaden Daniels. Right, like even still, even through all that, because if you look at the true per target numbers for Jaden last year. They wasn't like it was 2024, but it still was better than those other guys.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when you have the conversation with folk about Jaden last year, they only really want to talk about the injuries and not when he actually played, which I get it.
Right? And
But,
then not even when he played, but who he played with.
Yeah.
I mean, not even just that. I mean, I think they're holding. I mean, we said it, right? Like this team overachieved a lot of ways in 2024, right? And I think people that thought Jaden, like a lot of us knew Jaden was going to be great. I don't know if any of us could have predicted that great, right? Like, no, I don't know if any of us could have predicted being 60 minutes away from the first Super Bowl appearance since 1991. So for him to do that, unfortunately, in this league, it's not forgiving, right? So they now expect that out of you. So anything less than that, he's going to be critiqued. Like, even if he would have stayed healthy, let's say we win one playoff game and then we get bounced in the second round, he'd be critiqued for that. Right? Because, I mean, you saw when guys like Mahomes were getting to their first AFC championship and lost to Tom Brady, we expected Mahomes to be back, right? Because now you set that standard. Over in Philadelphia now, Jalen Hurts has been to 2 Super Bowls. The standard now is winning Super Bowls or at the very minimum getting to them. Over in LA with the Rams, they've seen Stafford lead them to a Super Bowl win. A championship is needed over there in LA. And unfortunately for 5, he's young, but you set the standard now, not just in Washington, but around the league. Like, we expect you to be great. We expect you to lead this team to playoff wins. And if he wants to gain the respect of his peers, I mean, he's got to stay healthy. Like that's his biggest thing now. I don't think anybody doubts his ability to be great on the field, but availability is the best ability. And if 5 doesn't have that, unfortunately, it's going to hurt him.
And like he's in that second generation of NFL, of your NFL plan days, right? You like your first generation is like 18 to 22, and then you got 23 to like 26 or 27, something like that, right? So because he came in as he was a super senior, he came in late, right? So even when you look at someone like Herbert and you look at those guys, even though they've been in the league longer, like where you are at the age that you are in your career is like you have to be parallel and judge with those guys. Like even though this is you're going into your 3rd year, and just the seeing the things that we have already seen from him were not fluke because he's done it multiple times, right? Like, and this is the thing when we talk about this wide receiver room is why I refuse to do the what ifs, right? Like I do believe that Antonio Williams is going to be a good wide receiver his rookie year, but all that hinges on what you can get from Terry McLaurin. The same thing with Chig. Like I think Chig can have a breakout year and be in that conversation next offseason by one of the best tight ends. But again, that's going to hinge on Terry McLaurin. A lot of these guys that we see across the league is usually hinges on whoever your best player is. And a lot of rooms don't have like 2 top tier wide receivers. That's why Stephon Diggs can come out and say, I'm better than your number 2 wide receiver, because it's probably true across the board on most of these NFL rosters. But my question is, like, when we compare other wide receiver rooms to ours, right? And I know that's difficult to do because we just don't have that much time in the day, right? How many other teams from 1 through 5 wide receiver rooms don't look like ours? I mean, like that's why I'm trying. I really want to do that. I don't know if Dog is still here, but like we're trying to see if we can squeeze that in before the season starts. Actually looking at every roster, pulling up some numbers from every wide receiver room across the league, because maybe we're looking at it entirely wrong. You know how I used to say we want something that's just not there. It's just not something that's common, like a premier pass rusher. You only get 3 of them, so you got to be lucky to try to get 1 of them. I mean, what y'all think about maybe are we over exaggerating the wide receiver?
I can name 2 off the top of my head. Maybe 3. I think the Bengals is there. I'd like the kid they got from Princeton, Andre is, I don't know how to pronounce his name. He played at Princeton. Well, when when you watch him in the preseason, playing the preseason, he's a solid wide receiver. I'm not saying he's like a number 2 or number 3, but
I like Yoshi for them too. Yoshi Voss is a dog.
Yeah, and then they also had Mitchell. Well, Tinsley was going off.
that was embarrassing.
But even with him, and when we talk about players like De'Ami Brown, Olamide, all those guys that'll get you one every now and then, when you really need them, they're exactly who they are. And you see even Tinsley dropping big passes in meaningful games. Right?
Yeah. You also got the Lions. You don't even got to mention Amon-Ra and Jameson Williams, but Isaac Tesla is he's pretty good. He's shown up for them a little bit. Then they got
Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas is on there.
They got that rookie kid. They got Turpin.
You got the Rams. The Rams are up there, I think. And I'm not going to name like the top heavy guys. I'm really naming the 3s and the 4s.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Let me ask y'all a question, right? But if we feel as though we need an elite wide receiver room, right? Like obviously an elite wide receiver room helps out not just Jaden, but the overall success of the team. But like even if we don't get Brandon Ayuk or Stephon Diggs, I don't think like if this year we're not successful, I don't think it will be because we didn't have one of those 2 dudes. Like again, I've seen 5 throw game-winning passes to Olamide Zaccheaus with the game on the line. Chris Moore, Treylon Burks. Like I'm a firm believer, and if you genuinely believe in the talent of 5, then I'm not so concerned with needing a top elite wide receiver. Like, yes, it's going to help. But, I mean, you mentioned earlier, Deuce, right? Like, Tom Brady had great wide receivers, had arguably the one of, if not the greatest tight end of all time. It definitely helps, right? But Brady
had chain moves. Like, Brady always had chain moves.
Or guys that just understood zone and understood leverage and understood.
But I think that is where 5 can be genuinely different. Like, if 5 can be successful without needing the top guys, right? If 5 can create his own top guy, right? Like we talk about Antonio Williams coming in. If 5 can create a monster out of him, then we'll talk about 5 as being one of the greats, bro. Like those that right there separates good quarterbacks from greats.
Hold on, okay, I'm gonna let you go. I think even when we talk about those, we talk about the Bradys and we talk about like even Sam Darnold, right? Like even the Super Bowl champs, right? Like I think Cooper had 400 or 500 yards last year or whatever. So like even talking about those teams have great defenses, right? Like your court, like when you have the great quarterbacks, right? And just talking about Jaden specifically, when you have to go into every game, and as if it's me or nothing, right? I have to have a great game. Like that messes with your mints. Cause like when have we ever said after a game, oh yeah, the defense gave us it wasn't the defense.
The only game I could think of last year, well, not even last year. I mean, 2024 was the Carolina game. I think that was the only game we could look at when we played the Panthers. Like, yeah, the defense balled out. And the fact that that's the bar is crazy. You know what I mean? Like, the only team we could point to, be like, yeah, that was a great game. It was probably the Carolina
And we scored
game.
like 40 points that game, too. So.
I think I seen a random stat, man. I think it's been like 30-plus years or something since we've had a shutout, which is insane, dude. It's insane. Like, it's insane.
Let me ask y'all this, because over the last few days, this came up in my head. What elite quarterback doesn't have an elite receiver?
I mean, it's not that many elite quarterbacks, right?
Yeah, probably like 3 or 4. So I think
all of the top I would say pass catcher. I would say pass catcher.
Or
I think Josh Allen is the only elite quarterback without an elite wide receiver.
Do you think Lamar has an elite weapon?
I think Zay Flowers is elite. To me, Zay Flowers is elite. Zay Flowers took a huge step last year into putting his
borderline.
Hold on. But and this is a different conversation, so I don't want to go too far in the deep end. But when you talk about elite, I'm thinking of guys that are top, and it varies. It's also based off opinion and what you value. And when I think of elite 4 receivers, you got to be top 6 or top 5 at your position. I don't think Zay Flowers is top 6 or 7 at his position in the NFL. He's a really good receiver, but I don't think of him when I think of elite. I think of Jamar. I think of maybe CeeDee Lamb or Amon Ra, or even guys like.
I mean, I think it depends on how many guys you're looking at, right? I mean, there's over 60 wide receivers in the NFL.
Yeah.
When you just count 1 through 3. So
the sample size is huge.
For me, right, the barometer when it comes to wide receivers, just because there is so many when we're just talking about 1 through 3, if you're top 10 out of 60 guys, to me, you're elite. Right, like, and I think Zay Flowers is a top 10 wide receiver as of this moment. I think last year he took a big step, bro. I think he took a big step.
He was good. So like the reason why I brought that up is
I think the numbers would back that up too.
Yeah,
like, Zay Flowers. Numbers,
yeah,
and to be honest, he
was 7th in receiving yards.
We needed to see that, right? Like, but I think before last season, I thought Zay Flowers was just a great wide receiver. Last year, for me, because he made that jump when Lamar needed him to, he became elite in my opinion. And as of this moment, I consider him an elite wide receiver.
The reason why I asked that is, I think Justin Herbert's another one. I don't think he has an elite weapon at all. And he's still able to put up good numbers.
Is Justin Herbert elite though?
No, but we're just talking.
I mean, I think you got to look at overall. Like, I think the Justin Herbert thing is about him in clutch games, right? Yeah. And I think,
but he's
you can count that, right? But if you're going to add a caveat to the Zay Flowers conversation about then you gotta give the other guys a caveat too. So like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like guys that can just go out there and give you 4,500 like it's not nothing. Like everybody can't do that.
Yeah, the reason why I mentioned that is like, some quarterbacks.
I'm not taking them on my team though.
No, yeah, for sure. For sure.
Nah, we good.
There's
good on Herbert.
There's some quarterbacks that are able to make something out of nothing, and I know.
Yeah, he had a horrible O-line.
Yeah, he did. He did. It was bad. I think he lost both his tackles too for the year. That's bad.
And they're really good tackles. They not no bum.
Yeah, they're good. I think. Of course, we want to add a weapon to this team, but I do think going back to just the skill players. I'm not even just going to say the receiver room, but the skill players themselves. I think they did raise the floor and they have more depth to the skill players in my opinion.
Hands down.
Yeah, you don't have that guy.
I mean, the ceiling was raised too. I mean, I don't even know if we had a ceiling last year. I think we was just out there joining the street.
But I think, I think fans, they want that receiver. You see it on the timeline for like 4 months. But the way they approached this year's draft, I feel like was good in my opinion. Yeah, they wanted that receiver, but they also didn't want to reach either at certain receivers. Did you want to pick a slot guy at 7 in Mekhi Lemon? He went 20, but. Did you want to pick a Jordan Tyson? You got some fans saying, I would have got Jordan Tyson. Yeah, and if he would have got hurt in training camp or he barely even played in rookie minicamp, y'all would be mad at AP again.
I mean, that right there.
That will be mad regardless.
That right there, Caleb, like that's literally where I hope that we follow the Buffalo Bills blueprint, right? Like I feel like over there, they would love to give Josh Allen an elite wide receiver, but at the same time, they understand that Josh is good enough to elevate those around him, right? So they're hell-bent on if this defense can be elite and get us takeaways in very key moments, we're going to continuously be in a spot to compete for a championship. And I think we can do the exact same thing in Washington if this is a top defense. Like the fact that we went as far as we did in 2024 with one of the worst defenses in the National Football League just goes to show you how much further could we have gone if that would have been a middle of the pack defense. How many more wins are we talking if that's a middle of the pack defense? Maybe we're not on the road for the NFC Championship game. Maybe that game is at the crib if this defense is middle of the pack. But no, this was a borderline dead last defense, and 5 had to carry everyone around him. And ultimately, you've seen it turn its ugly head once we got to the championship game. So I really hope that this defense can take a gigantic step forward, and I think that'll translate to a lot more wins.
And I also think
He got DJ Moore. I think DJ Moore gonna go off this year with Island.
Yeah. And I also think with the skill players too, you also got to think about the next draft. Like, there's it's too late for the next draft, but like these guys, that's their job. Their job is to scout for the next year, the next 2 years. And I truly believe, and I hope at least, that in the draft with that first round pick, I think they're going to get that receiver. I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to get that receiver, and they're probably going to spin the bag.
That's what we thought this past year.
Yeah, we thought that too. But we didn't expect Carnell Tate.
According to Carnell Tate, he was on the way.
We didn't expect Carnell Tate to go 4. I didn't expect him. I didn't expect him to go 4. I was like 4. Okay.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere for sure. That came out of nowhere.
But yeah, they definitely raised the floor of these skill players, and it's going to be interesting to see how David Blau implements these guys and what they're going to do with them day in and day out, week to week, quarter to quarter.
And I think it's going to be about opportunities too, right? And I think, especially going into the year, like this defense is going to have to show out, right? Like the more opportunities you get, Jaden, if you can flip the field, if you can swing field position in our favor, right? You get some 3 and outs. I mean, 20, man, like it's like every time Jaden get on the field, I think we can score. So the more opportunities you can give them, right? And if they're able to put points on the board, the less reliable you have to be on wide receivers because you could run the ball more, right? But I think the issue comes up, right? If it's the fourth quarter, down 13, 8 minutes to go, you get the ball back, defense give you the ball back, like you're going to have to throw the rock, right? And how are you going to be able to move the football when the defense knows you're going to be passing the football, right? Like how can you, how are you going to be able to be successful?
That's
with
where
that?
Terry's going to come into play a lot this year. Like David
going to have
talking
to.
about Terry talking. They talking about giving him 10 targets a game. But listen,
I think he's serious too.
If he gets 10 targets,
no, he is.
he ain't back down yet. Every time they ask him,
if I'm Terry, like, bro, you got to give me at least 12. I need at least 1,200, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. If you telling me,
I did 9, and 9 got him at 153, which was about 20 something higher than his season high, which was 134. He only had 500 plus targets, and he averaged like 112. At 9, put him at 30 plus. I'm like, bro. And if he 10, like that, and you say 12, like, bro.
At least, but I'm saying I need at least 12. Like I need because
Terry
I
gonna be
need
running
at least 12.
And he can't just be out there joint running post flat. Like they're gonna have to get Terry back in that slant game.
Yeah, they're gonna throw the slants
across the field. Yeah,
slants
moving them around.
Crossers. That's what
I do wonder. Like, I wonder what y'all's thought is on that. Like, yes, David Blau is going to ultimately draw up a game plan to get Terry to rock 10 times, but we've also seen Jaden make his own decisions where maybe he could have gone to Terry, right? But he doesn't unload it, so he goes elsewhere. Like, what do y'all think if we run into that problem, or do you think Jaden is going to have it in his head where no, I have to get this dude 10 targets a game?
He has to trust you, bro. Like I just think that's what it is. He has to trust. He has to trust you, and with Terry, they know how much he trusted him. So let's put 2 people over there, right? Let's force him. Let's take away Terry early, right? Let's give it up to some of these other folks, and that's just what it's going to be. So that's why it's going to be important. And to flip back on it, I think I'm flipping my stance on preseason. I think Jay need to play.
He do.
Right? I think you need to
every
like this
game?
one. No. Just this game.
Probably the
two.
first 2 games. Probably the first 2.
I know this the second. I wouldn't even play on the first game. Like the second game, I want to see at least a quarter.
That's the dress rehearsal. So
yeah, I want to see at least a quarter. Like Tunsil not going to be out there. Terry might not even be out there. But I need to see him out there, and I need to see multiple receiver sets because if it's really a competition, then he's going to have to throw to those guys.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Also, I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna say I'm bullish on this, these skill players, but I still like what they added. I think the Chig signings is a really, really good signing. You get a guy that can create after the catch, something that we haven't had since Vernon Davis. At like just being a vertical threat and being able to create something out of nothing. Chig can do that. Um, when's the last time we had a really good receiving back? I mean, we had a couple of good ones in the last 2 years. Austin Eckler was really good for us.
He was
I
elite.
mean, we've had them though.
Yeah, we had them.
Like, we
JD
have
McKissick. JD McKissick
Chris
was a
Thompson.
dog.
Yeah,
Like we've
JD
had them
Yeah.
over the years.
So you had a guy, Rashad Wright, who you can motion him into the slot a few times.
I ain't say 12. Nah, 1,200 yards, man. 10 targets a game, 1,200 yards. 12 targets, absolutely not. I ain't
Terry
getting
can
that.
get 1250. We're gonna be in a play. We're gonna be in a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
yeah, 1250. Then you implement. Hopefully, they can create the run game with that too, because there really is no RB1, and it's a back committee. And I know some guys they wanted Jeremiah Love on this team, but you got guys that specialize in different things. You got a thumper with Katron, you got the receiving threat in Rashad White, and you got your slashing running back in Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. Now he did pick up some weight, which you said on your last podcast, Deuce. Forgot who it was with, the young lady he was with, but y'all mentioned just him bulking up, him getting stronger.
Yeah.
So
definitely got bigger.
He's going to have to run between those tackles a little bit.
I mean, he did it last year.
Yeah,
right?
he did it. He did it for sure.
Tackles. But he just his body just wasn't ready. I mean, he didn't play it much the year before, so that's why he was often hurting on the injury report, right? But I mean, he can do it. I think it's gonna be him out the gate, bro. Like I think the Jordan Love discourse kind of really like faded us about what he did last year. But just think about, Dog Tie got all the numbers. Just think about what he did last year. How many opportunities he didn't get compared to all the other guys, and like he had 800 yards rushing.
He had a really good year.
Yeah, that me and Dog Tie were having that conversation
really
since last year. I think JCM off the top of my head, he had the most yards in the NFL with the like the percentage of carries that he got. And like I tried to tell people, like even before the draft, I said I think the organization, like they believe in JCM a lot more than the fan base might at the moment, right? Like I think that the offensive coaches see Dan Quinn sees in the film room and they trust him, bro. Like again, we've seen him have 3 or 4 games with well over 100 yards, right? You saw the game against New York. You saw the game against the Chargers. Like that Chargers game, a lot of that was because of JCM. Like a lot of that success was his ability to break in and out of tackles, extend drives, right? I think if he can get a healthy amount of carries, I think he's a 1,000 yard back for sure. I think I think with the amount of carries he got last year and the fact that we were behind in a lot of games, so we were throwing the ball and not running the ball. If the games can at least be close this year or we're ahead and you get to see him get a healthy amount of carries, I think he's a 1,000 yard back, and I think the numbers prove it.
I also think that he can definitely get 1,000 yards. The more I think about it,
it's really not that crazy, Kayla. You think about how many yards he got when we was behind in so many games.
It's not, but I do like what these other guys bring to the table. When you got, let's say in January or December, it's cold outside and you need a grinded out game. That's what you got Katron for. Right. Literally, that's who he is. He's a thumper. He's a bruiser. He's a guy that's gonna basically tell the defense, you're gonna have to deal with me all night, and the defense is gonna get angry because he's just gonna keep falling forward.
Right.
And then you got like Rashad White. He can get you those receiving yards. So man, like I like what these other guys bring to the table. Yeah, we don't have that elite number one back, but all I ask for this running back room, and I've said it multiple times in spaces, on podcasts, on X, I just need y'all to be efficient when y'all run the ball. That's it. When we run the ball, be efficient. Fall forward. And when we have to run the ball in full quarter to grind out this game to get first downs, y'all gonna need to convert those goal line rushing plays. K-Tron can do that. He can do that.
Yeah.
And then the guy we just signed from the Browns,
He's gonna be very interesting, K-Tron.
what's his name? The guy we
Jerome
signed from
Ford.
Jerome Ford. He's not a bruiser or a thumper, but he gonna be
He's a bigger dude though, for sure. Like he's definitely more.
I think he makes the
goal
team
line.
over McNuggets because
I hope he does. I hope he does.
He gives you that special. I mean, McKenzie was back there special teams. He was horrible, but he gives you that return, that returner, and he had what 900 yards one year. So he's been that 3 down back for sure. So I really like Ford over. I think we go 4 running backs for the 53, 3 on game day, and I got Ford over JD. Pool, I appreciate you, bro. Welcome to the community, man. Appreciate you and everyone else that's in there. If you have not done it yet, please like, subscribe, continue to comment, check out the community, become a member, doing big things. Yeah, we may better get up out of here, man. Appreciate y'all coming through, bro. Hey, Cash, I just want to say the Lakers are like a pack of white tees, bro.
They do.
Yeah, bro, it's bad, bro. We really got the exciting whites in LA, man. But
y'all got Jair. Y'all still trying to y'all bring in Kuminga. Y'all might get that. Y'all got two wing players.
The Jair signing, I was actually happy about it. Like we definitely need a 3-and-D wing. And I mean, for $3.4 million, I mean, you can't really go wrong, right?
And Kessler's is really talented, bro. Like I ain't know nothing about him at first, but
Kessler was great.
Yeah, he's really good. He's really
I think we wanted to really give a true lob threat to Luka, and I think Ayton showed.
Ari got David Blau this week.
Yeah, you didn't see that? Yeah, it comes out tomorrow. Yeah, 45-minute episode. That'll be. Oh yeah, and make sure y'all tune into the quarterback show on Netflix. That's gonna be lit
tomorrow too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's tomorrow.
Yeah, it comes out tomorrow. Man, I'm sitting there like, bro. Of course, y'all picked the year that 5 gets hurt to put him on a TV show. Like,
yeah, but I think that's a good thing.
A whole lot of him though.
I think that's a good thing though. I think that's a good thing. It shows him going through adversity and how he handled it. In that year. So, I think that's a good thing though, in my opinion. That's just me.
All right, man. What else y'all got before we get up out of here, man?
Sign Brandon Ayuk, bro. That's all it is. Sign Brandon Ayuk.
That ain't happening.
I need him to go get reinstated. I'm still team BA, still team Brandon Ayuk. I think Ayuk gonna come here, give us some solid numbers, man. Listen, people forget, bro. The last time he was on a football field, he was on pace for another 1,000 yards, man. So you all want a threat opposite of Terry that's proven. Man, bring Brandon Ayuk to Washington, man. Mark my words. I'm calling.
I can't wait to see this. Poole make a good point. I can't wait to see this Blau offense. I can't wait to see Durante. It's just like, can they tell stories? I need to see them from play clock to play clock. I need to see the adjustments. A lot of things takes these guys, coordinators, a while to kind of really grasp it, right? But I don't know, man. This can get ugly quick. Dan going into his 3rd year. He had a horrible year. He had a great year. You got these 2 rookie play callers. I just don't know how much time David Blau and Durante have to kind of go through woes.
Dan Quinn on the hot seat, man.
And it's not only that, but that's why I said earlier, Deuce, before Cash came on, I think that's what makes me excited about this season. It can be really good, but it can be really bad too. But I think it's so unpredictable. You don't know if these corners are going to be good, and Quinn could have found 2 gems.
What you mean? A lot of people feed that dog raw meat. Y'all people crazy about Ayuk. You got people it's crazy.
crashing.
Yeah, a lot of people feed that dog raw meat, bro.
But I will also say though, if these 2 coordinators do good, then we're gonna start talking about Dan Quinn need to go. Promote David Blau.
I think he need to go regardless. I mean, he's going regardless.
This season can go too. Like, he can be out of here regardless of how this season goes at the end of the year. Like, if it goes really well and the offense is top 10, he got a decision to make.
Hey, Blau, you may.
They was trying to bring him on as an assistant quarterbacks coach. So, like, But yeah, but I don't think it's gonna be it ain't gonna be 60+%, bro. Like that ain't happening.
Nah, that's
even when you talk about Caleb and Drake May and those dudes that went to more under center, it's still less than 30%. Jaden ain't gonna Jaden loves being in the gun, bro. Like he ain't gonna be under center no 60+%. This
but they
I don't know,
gonna,
Poole. This ain't 1998.
Nah, they're gonna put him under center more than what I think it was less than 10% this past
Yeah,
year.
I think 2024 we did the numbers. I think it was like 13 times or 18
Yeah.
times.
But they're gonna do it more. They may do it probably at let's say probably 35%. Maybe 40,
Yeah.
but 60.
Nah, it ain't gonna be that much.
It ain't gonna be
It
60.
might be close to 30.
It ain't gonna be 60. 60 is crazy. 60.
All right, man. We about to get up out of here. Appreciate you coming, Cash, Caleb. Appreciate y'all, Cash and Caleb. I don't know, man. Appreciate y'all for coming through. It was 50%. No way.
You want to check that? We're gonna have to fact check that.
Yeah, check that. Hold on, Poole. There's no way.
Putting his rep on the line already.
Yeah, like no way. No way.
50% of the time is absurd.
No way he was under center 50% of the time.
I see Caleb fact checking. I know Caleb running down.
I'm looking.
50% seems like a lot. I mean, off the top of my head, I could see like 35%, 30%, maybe.
Okay.
What is it?
I went on Google and I just Googled it. Caleb Williams significantly expanded his under center duties, taking roughly half of his snaps from under center. 49%.
How many? What was it? How much?
49%. 49%.
That's crazy. I will never doubt you again, Poole. That's crazy.
That's what Google said. So, but you know, Deuce, I got your number. So if I see something different, I'm gonna send you the link.
I won't doubt you again. Until then, Poole.
Information from Google. This ain't got the info from Google.
Oh yeah,
man.
dog. Down. Whew. I just think he was gonna 49%. Maybe so. I don't know. What was May?
Let me see.
Oh, dog said go to Sharp Analytics.
Sharp Analytics.
We'll check it out.
Yeah.
What did it say about Drake May?
You want to know what Google said?
Yeah, 49% is crazy.
Yeah, that is
Google Caleb Williams. 49%. All right, well, Poole, I will never doubt you again, Poole.
I'm gonna send you if I see something different. I'm gonna send it to you if I see something different.
All right, we about to get up out of here. Again, thank all of you. Thanks to all the content creators that came through. We got 2 more days. It's 30+ content creators. We got 2 more days before we end this. Thank you for your time. I know it's valuable for you to spend it with me. I absolutely appreciate it. Remember, do it because you love it, not because it loves you. One beat, one sound, one hop.